here.
Okay, it's giving me time to
Computer's having a
get all
fun
kinds of
time
things in different places.
with us feeding from the Discord. It doesn't always allow us to move. So we look like we're frozen. We're frozen in contemplation.
Yes. Oh, actually, some of us aren't. Some of us aren't. Some of us aren't. Some of us aren't. Nope.
All right. So, can everyone hear us?
Nope.
My typing is probably loud enough to wake the cows.
It is.
Yep, it's coming through.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I don't know why I'm frozen, but that's really annoying. I think my computer just has to catch up to that, to be perfectly honest. We're slightly frozen, but that's okay. We will stop being frozen in just a minute. And so I will introduce myself. My name is Sam, and my Twitter handle is DM Samuel, which is why it says Castlekeeper DM Samuel, because I made that Twitter handle a long time ago. Anyway, and so I am here for the first episode of a Castles and Crusades actual play campaign, which I have named The Pools of Narrheit. And Narrheit is one of the deities in the world of Aird, which is the sort of default setting for, or the house setting for Troll Lord games for the Castles and Crusades game. It's not really the default setting because the rule book doesn't really have a default setting. It leaves it wide open for anyone to put whatever setting they want in there. But in any case, Aird is the house setting, and so that's the setting that we are playing in. And Narrheit is a sort of malicious trickster god who is one of the old gods, and so take that for what you will, given that his name is in the name of the campaign. And so I would like my players to introduce themselves, and you can just say your name and what kind of character you're playing, and anything you want to tell us about your character is fine with me.
My name is Matt. I'll be playing Xenolestimus Faye, who is a human monk. His friends call him Xeno. He's kind of a mystery in what he's doing here in Delafin. He's looking for his parents. He was abandoned at a young age in a monastery. He has a letter and a little metal Gorgon pin. So he is in the area searching for his family. My name is Matt, and my Discord is Grape Ape.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Leonise Wallander, who is a female high elf. She's actually an Orolu, so she's playing elf as a character and as a class. And she's ended up on the island by accident. Her boat suffered damage in a storm, and they ended up in the port.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm playing Bert Longfellow. He's a halfling rogue. Quite a rotund halfling rogue, even as halflings go. But he ended up on the island of Adelphin, or the town of Adelphin, sorry, because he was on the run. He got in trouble, got caught pickpocketing in the town he was in, so he just hopped on the first ship he could and ended up here.
I'm George. I go by Ultra Magnus, and I will be playing Jake Tildor. He grew up on the island on a local cabbage farm. He found his father's adventuring equipment and realized he was going to follow in his father's footsteps, wherever his father may be, and become one of the clerics of Durandale. Durandale being a lawful good god with a blazing fiery red bastard sword on his armor, and he's going to take up the perfection in armor and weapons and things like that as a cleric, and follow through and maybe even find out what happened to his father, or just become an awesome adventurer, as he should be in his own right.
And I'm playing Robert, and I'm playing Rekmit Sourbeard, a dwarven rune mark. He grew up on this island outside the city, on, oddly enough, a cabbage farm. Doesn't much care for farming, likes, potion making and all that kind of stuff, and the blacksmithing stuff that he gets exposed to. He's about 5'6", so he looks even odder as a dwarf because he's very tall and kind of skinny and gangly for a dwarf. So that's all I need to know now.
Okay, and so which of you know each other? I'm in the background trying to fix our video issue, so keep talking.
Jake and I know each other, and I could very well have met every one of the other ones on the docks or in the town if they were at the port. Our family tended to go and help ships come into port and at the founder, at the blacksmith shop and all that kind of stuff. So it could be a way to kind of tie us all together if we want. That's up to you.
I think that would work well.
Yeah.
That the halfling came to town to get some of our awesome cabbage and things like that. Don't we have like a sauerkraut factory or something like that?
Well, that's what my family's known for, is their amazing sauerkraut and other fermented foods.
We really need to go into more brats and things like that as well.
Yeah, well, we got to get that from the other cows and pig farmers. We don't really specialize in animals. We have a few.
There we go. So really, that's our first adventure, is going out there and expanding our business horizons and goals. Like it. There we go.
But the one thing you have to know is Sourbeard brand is never sold off the island as Sourbeard.
Oh.
On the island is it known as Sourbeard. Otherwise, it's sold through a separate distributor renamed as something else, so there's no attention brought to the dwarves, at least my family.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't happen, but it's not supposed to happen.
You could be the sausage kings of Chicago or something. That would be quite...
Indolphin? Famous for their Indolphin dogs.
It's already sounding good. We just have to tie the elf into that, along with the monk.
The elf will be looking for somewhere to stay because she wasn't intended to be here.
Well, I would have been able to direct you to one of the 3 taverns, because I don't think the dwarves would have invited an elf initially to come and stay at their homestead. If I recall correctly, the lore is that elves and dwarves, I don't think they did it with the Codex Ververga or whatever that aired. Get it wrong. Does anyone recall from reading any of that if elves and dwarves get along in this setting?
They do not particularly like each other.
Yeah, so generally dwarves don't like elves that they're not familiar with. They kind of have the ability to learn how to like them. And elves are just really aloof, and they don't probably even really notice that the dwarves don't really like them that much. But so it's not an all-out war. They're not having a blood war or anything like that. But they don't necessarily get along the greatest.
Right. I remember reading in the Player's Handbook they had that, but then I think the Player's Guide to Erd was a little different with respect. I don't think they really brought up any problems with the elves specifically, which fit well.
Yeah.
Now, with respect to Leonese,
Leonese, yeah.
one thing that might work out is because I tend to be I'm not a gruff dwarf. I tend to be very sociable. Once again, another dwarf.
You're also a tall dwarf, tall, thin dwarf. You could almost be an elf.
Yeah, but I have a beard.
Yeah, well. Can't be perfect. That's an easy one to rectify.
I had to
Only
switch.
the good old races can grow real beards.
I had to switch how we're displaying the video, but at least now we're all moving, so we look like we're alive, which is a good thing. So review for me now again. So Jake knows Rekmit.
Correct.
And Zeno came in on a ship. Did you come in on a ship or did you walk in?
I came by ship.
Okay. And the elf's ship crashed or had a major problem.
Yep.
And Bert was on a ship.
Yep.
Okay. So, this, the image on the screen here, and so I will put it on to, so what the audience is looking at right now is a picture of the small area around Indelhofen, and the town is right down there. You can see it's a port town. It's a relatively sort of smallish town, but it has had a burst of growth lately because the shipping business has become very lucrative and popular. The person in charge of this town is named Baron Sayer Craystock, and he has a nice little family that lives there, and he sort of runs the town. But really, the word on the street is the people who run the town are, the fishermen and the ship workers, the dock workers, and the people who bring in their shipping. And that means that merchants have quite a bit of power here. The town itself is relatively young, but it has had a growth spurt, and it has gone from approximately 200 residents to closer to 400 residents. But between 50 and 100 of those residents at any given time are this kind of transient people that come in on a ship, stay for a while, and then leave. Even though that happens, and that has been happening for a while, recently, say in the past 10 or 20 years, the town has started having a much larger permanent population. And the thing about that is that it's now starting to sort of expand. And so let me put a map of the town on your screen for you. The town looks like this. If I can get it to... Maybe I can get it to go. Maybe not. This is where... Oh, there we go. Okay. So here is what the town looks like. So let's see if that went up on the screen for you. So here's the town. You can see that there are several little ports on there. There's a little bit of a large castle there. That's the Baron's Castle. And, oh, looks like I lost my picture here. Come on back.
Looks like it's popping in and out of different.
Yeah.
Systems.
Well, that is not fun. Let's take a look at this. Come on, computer. Okay, well, so here's an easy way to fix this. Let's remove that, and let's put an image in there. Oh, there we go. Now it's back for some reason. Okay, so technical difficulties. I was telling Chuck right before the stream started that this will be the stream where we end up finding all the bugs, and we may get rid of a lot of them, and we may not. But so here's the town, and so this castle on the hill, as it were, these hashed lines, those are elevation lines. Okay, they're about 40 feet for each line, and so this castle here is the Baron's house, and you can see that the side of the river, sort of to the north, that has sort of more spacious houses with more spacious land, buildings with more space. That's sort of the more wealthy part of town, and then this area over here to the south is the less wealthy part of town. Um, and you can see there's a couple of bridges that span across so that you can get from one side to the other, and there's a few little docks here and there, and there's a lot of housing and a lot of businesses, and that's kind of what you know of the town if you're not from here. Now, if you are from here, you know what most of these businesses are, and if you are not from here, you're not sure what the businesses are, but if you ask around, you find out that there are 3 inns in town and 3 basic taverns. Okay, the 3 inns are the Rusty Anchor Inn and Tavern, the Captain's Den, and the Good Night. And the taverns are the Dock Rats, which is sort of on the cheap side, Templeton's, which is mid-priced, and Lady Helen's Tea House, which is for wealthy people, and it's by invitation only. Lady Helen, by the way, is named after the Baron's wife. The Baron's wife's name is Lady Helen. And so if you want to make your way to, or if you want to meet, all of you want to be in one of those taverns, you can discuss amongst yourselves which tavern you want to be in so that we can all come together and finally meet.
Zeno is going to head toward the Rusty Anchor Tavern. See if he's going to kind of sit in the tavern for a minute, kind of gauge the patronage, and then maybe see if he can strike up a conversation with someone to ask about his pin and any refugees that may have came here from the south.
Okay, the Rusty Anchor is this building that I'm circling right here. You can see it on your owlbear there.
I'm sorry, was the Rusty Anchor an inn or a tavern?
It is the Rusty Anchor Inn and Tavern, so it is both.
Inn and tavern. Okay.
The other 2 inns were the Captain's Den and the Good Night. The Captain's Den is also a tavern. The Good Night is just an inn, and of the 3 taverns, none of them are true taverns except Dock Rats, which lets people sort of sleep on the floor. It's not really a true inn. So does that? Am I hearing then that everyone is going to go to the Rusty Anchor?
Rusty Anchor sounds like a good place. It's a tavern and an inn.
And it's cheap.
Yeah, make things simple.
Yeah. Rekmek, do you want to go over to that inn?
Well, of course we're going to the inn. They might have some of the sour beard ale on tap.
It is quite good this year.
Though, you would probably have gotten to have a little bit of the special batch from home.
Let's go.
Okay, so this inn is relatively large. It has a large bar and several, say, 5 or 6 round tables in the room. It has a large hearth that is currently lit to keep the place warm. And on the dock outside, there are also some tables. So they actually have indoor-outdoor seating. And it's pretty subdued right now. It's about midday, and there are not a ton of people in there, but there's probably 5 or 6 people in there, plus yourselves now. And the person working the bar is named Becker.
So Leonese will walk in and she'll ask Becca, so I'm looking for a place to stay and some food and wine. Is this a suitable place?
Of course, this is the best place in town. How could you even ask? Obviously, you came here, so
Well,
of course it
you
must be the best place.
This was the first place I came across, and you always told me it's the best place.
Well, I mean, why would I tell you to go to some other place? What can I get you?
Let's start with a goblet of wine. If you have any decent wine.
Well, you know, our specialty is ale, but we have some wine. Your tastes are probably a little more discerning than mine when it comes to wine. I'm an ale aficionado, so to speak.
Indeed. Well, let me try the wine.
All right, so we have two wines right now that are open. I've got a red for you, that's Indolofen's finest, and I've got a Baron Kraystock's last year's white wine.
Try Indolofen's finest.
All right, that sounds great. He sort of gets this very nice, well-made, shiny goblet out from under the bar. And he pulls the bottle out and he uncorks it with a loud pop and he pours it and sort of gingerly puts it in front of you and watches expectantly to see what you think of this particular libation.
He'll take a sip of it after a little sniff and looks at it, and it's actually quite palatable. Very surprising.
Yeah, it unfortunately has a little bit of a not so great aftertaste. So the thing about that is that as long as you're taking a fresh drink, it tastes good. It's only the aftertaste that's bad. So that'll hopefully, you know, that means you'll just keep drinking it, right?
Keep drinking. Exactly. There's a way to solve that.
So is everyone else already there, or are you going to come in individually?
Well, I figure the cleric and I will kind of saunter on in at some point. Because I'll run up to Becker and say, hey, you guys got any stuff in the back I can take back to the farm? Any refuse and leftover stuff? So typically we'll go from the taverns back for the compost pile.
I mean, you know, I had some other people asking about that, but yeah, you can take it as long as you don't as long as you don't tell the boss. You know, he gets kind of mad sometimes.
Oh, come on, you know the boss likes our family. That's why we bring you guys the good stuff.
I know, but he keeps threatening me that I don't charge you for it.
That's why we bring you ale. You got either the sour beard black ale still on tap?
Oh yeah, of course. Not very much though. It sells really good, but I got enough for you. I always have some for you. He pours some, puts a big frothy mug in front of you.
I'm trying to remember the cleric's name.
Say that again.
Trying to remember the cleric's name.
Oh.
Hey,
Hey, do you want a little mug too?
yeah, of course.
All right, one for my friend too.
Excellent.
Brewing us was half the fun.
he puts it on the bar.
Bert will come on in, be like, my stomach is rumbling, looking for some food. What you got?
Well, you know, we got some boar tips and we got some potatoes, and there's a cabbage stew, and we have some fresh carrots, and of course always we have some nice fresh bread and some cheeses.
Oh, some potatoes, some cabbage stew, some bread, some cheese. I'll take some of all of it.
Excellent. If you have a seat, I'll have Otten bring it out.
Ah, perfect. Thank you.
Did you want something to drink?
Yeah, I'll take a mug of ale, whatever you've got on tap here.
He looks at Reckman and says, "You think he could handle your good drink?"
I'll even buy it for him.
Excellent. Oh, excellent. He gets out the same size mug he's been giving everybody else, and he pours it to the top and sets it on the bar.
Oh, thank you very much.
He says, let me go put your order, and I'll be right back. And he goes back behind the doorway. There's a little curtain over the doorway, and he goes back behind there, and you can hear him yelling at somebody. So right about now, there's about 4 or 5 other patrons in there, and they were watching this entire exchange, and watching that sort of group of you file in, kind of in smaller groups, and now that he's gone into the back, they kind of turn away because they don't want to be, they're trying to pretend like they're not watching anymore, but they're pretty nosy.
I look over at the halfling and I'm like, you are going to love this stuff. This is the best.
I'll take a few sips and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is really good. And I'll, you say you made this?
He made it. The big guy over there.
Well, I didn't actually make it. It's made on my homestead. I
Ah,
helped some of the brewing, but picking of the hops and stuff, the family. I don't like my hands in it.
well, it's a wonderful stuff.
And I'll kind of rub to Jake. See, look at all the locals all whispering about us and kind of watch the business. Small towns.
So Zeno has been kind of sitting in the corner at a table by himself, watching everybody, trying to size up who he's going to try to approach. And I'm hoping he might notice these 4 guys watching the interactions at the bar. I'm going to go over to the table of the 4 people and introduce myself. Would you mind if I had a seat with you?
Of course not. Come on up.
Thank you. Barmaid, can I get a glass of hot water, please?
Coming right up. She goes back.
So,
Water?
I've heard some rumors. Oh, yes, I'm a tea drinker myself.
Evils.
I heard a rumor that there were a green glow over some of the lands around here. Do any of you happen to know Don and Pike?
Our silence is a no.
Rekmit has a chance of knowing Don and Pike. Why don't you roll me a percentage dice?
Ready?
It's going to be a 35.
Nope, you don't know him. You know of the family. That's a farming family, but you're not real familiar with him particularly.
Technically, mine was a
Have you fellows seen any weird green glowing lights in the area? I heard the Baron was looking for...
What was that about the Baron?
So, do you happen to know where Half Hill is located?
Yeah.
No.
Half Hill is about it's a few miles above or north of
Oh, Half Hill. Okay, yeah.
yeah, Half Hill.
Oh,
So actually,
there it is. Yes. It's a few miles from town. What, maybe 10 miles north of here? 10, 15-ish?
I've heard tales of a strange glowing light, a green light above Half Hill. Some people say it's cursed.
People say a lot of strange things on this island.
so as you're chatting, Lucy, the the barmaid there, she comes back with a big pitcher of water and a small glass for you to put the water in. And Becker comes out with a big platter of food, and it has 3 different types of breads on it, and 3 different types of cheeses, and a bunch of carrots and potatoes, and a bowl of cabbage stew. And he sets it right in the middle of the table, but kind of pushes it just ever so slightly over to the halfling. Can I get anything else for y'all?
So Lanny needs to look at this. It's like, I'll take some bread and cheese. It looks good.
You're not going to share that one?
I think that's the halflings.
I suppose we can share a small amount of it, but a good majority, I think, will be mine.
Oh, well, I'll have Otten start making another platter then. And he runs off. I was wondering if you were going to be a hungry halfling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'd say he was a little chubby. I'm saying hearty.
a hearty halfling, indeed.
Looks like the rest of my family, just a little bit smaller.
Sure. Yeah.
Zeno pulls some tea leaves out of his pack and begin brewing a nice cup of tea.
Fellini's will go, it's like, you say you heard a rumor, said it's some interesting things on the ship.
I have. Perhaps more investigation is required. I'm sure I can't handle the matter by myself, but if you have nothing else going on, perhaps I may be able to persuade you to join me.
Well, it won't take much to persuade me, because if I'm off doing something else, then I don't have to pick cabbage.
No, I don't have anything else to do.
Be cautious, though. I have heard this land is cursed.
Yeah, cursed my schmurst. There's all these kind of weird tales. Half Hill's not that far away.
Perhaps some of the other patrons who are eyeing you so interestingly might have more information. I've noticed that table of men sitting over there staring at you.
Well, they like my glorious beard. What can you say?
For a dwarf.
And Reckman does have his beard, not necessarily braided, but he's got like a wooden ring around it, some leather straps, and some strings there to help it and bring the mustache down into it. He's got like the left side of his face, or left side of his head shaven. The right side today is actually thrown over to the right. And you can tell there's a bunch of scars on the left side of his face. And he doesn't try to hide them at all.
As Reckmit kind of like moves his head around and itches his, sort of absentmindedly touches the scars, and the 3 of the people that were at the table that were kind of watching definitely now turn away, and they sort of start to finish their drinks real quick and start to get up to leave.
Yeah, let out a large laugh and a bellow.
They do that that thing where you kind of hurry out of a room, but you're trying not to look like you're hurrying out of a room. And they all 3 of them file out of the room. There's still 2 men at the table.
Are they talking as they head out of the room?
Not really. They're just kind of saying,
okay.
Let's get going. It must be time to go. We got to get back to work and stuff like that. You know.
Oh, okay.
Nothing,
Okay. Fair enough.
So Zeno's going to take his tea and head over to where the remaining 2 people are, and just seat himself at the table. What did you find so interesting, my friends? I saw your attention was quite stuck on myself and the other people at the bar.
Well, not you, sir. Good sir. Not you. We could see you're a fine, upstanding man here, uh, in the Rusty Anchor. But you know the short ones. You know
Ah,
they're
yes.
they're a little squirrely. But I think that that dwarf. He has a beard like a dwarf, but they're farmers.
And they should not be farmers? I
Well,
mean, it is good he is working in the land.
sure, nothing against farmers, you see, but but they're dwarves. Dwarves don't farm; they mine. How come they're not mining?
Ah,
Or maybe they are
well,
mining and
perhaps we should.
they're trying to hide something. You see, so it's a little bit suspicious.
Perhaps we should call him over here so you can ask.
Oh, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think it's necessary. We know his
Dwarf!
family.
Dwarf, come
No,
here!
shh, keep your voice down.
Like, wait, you mean me, Reckman? I'll just get up, grab a drink, kind of saunter on over. Like, hey, how you guys doing?
What did you say your name was again, friend dwarf?
Reckman.
These men are very interested in your farming, or perhaps they think you might be mining underneath your farmlands. Have you found anything in your farming?
I know these two guys.
You've probably seen him around, but you don't really have a good knowledge of him.
They seem more like wharf guys, fishermen, or
Yeah,
other farm
they're dock workers.
dock workers. Okay. I was like, whoa, hey, what would you like to know? Technically, we are mining. We're mining cabbage,
What?
carrots,
But
and all kinds of other good herbs and stuff that you guys get to eat.
that's not mining. I can't believe you don't. Oh, I get it. You're trying to put one over on us. Like you don't know what mining is. That's funny, very funny. And he takes a drink of his whatever's in his cup.
I'll take a little drink too and tap his cup and say, good on you, sir.
They think you have a stash of precious metals or ores hidden away somewhere, Reckmit.
We didn't say all that. We didn't say all that. We didn't. But
Right.
but do you?
As he looks at the clothing he's wearing, it tells hand-me-down. It's really well used. Like, you think so? Do you know how hard it is to feed a family of dwarfs?
Well, that
We
part.
do-
No, I don't.
I a little bit. Kind of like, other than the fact that I don't necessarily live under the ground, but the rest of my family has built into the ground, so we mined out a little place to live in the hill. I mean, you should probably know that. There's nothing strange about us dwarves. We just came here, and there's not a lot of mining opportunities unless we wanted to go, way up north, I think is where that is? Foothill Mountains or whatever? Is that where the mining is?
Yeah, that Foothold Mountains. Yeah, that's where there's some mining. Yeah.
We just didn't want to live all the way up in the Foothill Mountains.
But
We're modern dwarves. This is a new era.
oh, well. Oh, okay. But all right. So I'll accept that. I'll accept that. But what about the long ear over there?
What about the what?
The long ear. The long.
Long ear?
He kind of points over at the table.
Did Leonese come over by us? Is Leonese there?
He's at the. She's at
talking
the table
about?
still, I think, right?
Okay. Like, well, what about the long ear? I mean, they just have different ears.
Well, yeah.
Leonese will
Aren't they
lift their head
supposed?
up.
Aren't they supposed to be in the forest?
Well, some are in the forest. Some dwarves live in the mountains, but not all.
But
All people are.
but
the rest-
why? But
After the winter's dark, I mean, you can't just things are strange now. People do all kinds of things. Why don't you go ask them or ask her? her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and ask her?
No, it's
I'm sure
okay.
about it. I'm talking about it. I have no problems with that. This is awesome. I love having a nice interaction with you. Spelling myths, give me a little jab in the ribs. It's all good.
All right. How long, the beard, how long does it take?
What do you mean? How long does it take?
Like, to grow your beard, how long did it take to make it like that?
Well, it sprouted this morning. I shaved it yesterday.
What?
Maybe I'd be walking on it.
Well, you must be eating something different with that cabbage, too.
That is true. We drink our cabbage.
Right about then, the other person at the table kind of elbows the guy you've been talking to and says, "All right, let's get out of here. We gotta go to work. This is not gonna. Word's gonna get around. Come on, let's go."
Yeah, we'll see you on the docks later. Next time you guys need our help unloading some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
All the sourbeards, we'll be there to help you out.
As they're walking out, the one that was talking to you kind of turns and waves to everybody.
Like, see you, good sir.
And Ease will be kind of looking and ignoring him.
Bert's too focused on his food to notice.
Has he eaten the whole thing yet? Is actually what I'm asking.
Oh, he's made it through his way through the cabbage stew and the bread. He's working on the potatoes now.
Excellent.
Showed over here. How's that cabbage stew? Best cabbage stew you've ever had, isn't it?
Oh, it's excellent. Cannot complain with the cabbage stew.
Just make sure you're not in the room with anyone else tonight.
So right about that time, Becker comes out with the second tray to give to Leonese, and
Ease will thank him.
yeah, it's a little bit smaller than what they gave the halfling, and he says, "I pardon the size. I brought the big one before because I thought you were all gonna share it." So, and he sets it in front of you and bows a little bit, turns to go.
We're just newly met. We're not that friendly.
I just didn't know the halfling was gonna eat so much.
That was the sharing size?
Well, look at him. He's a hardy fellow. He needs a lot of food.
I guess so. I guess so. So it's pretty early afternoon. What would you like to do? Are you going to try to book a room here?
Leonese, well, as she finishes, she'll inquire Becca if they're about rooms.
We have a whole bunch of rooms upstairs. We have double rooms. We have single rooms. We have a main room where there's about 10 beds up there, and there's a hearth in that room so to keep you warm, but you're sleeping with everybody else in the same room. So it's a copper piece per night for that common room, and then it's 3 copper pieces a night for a double room, and it's a silver for a single room.
Oh, means I'll take a single room.
Okay. Do you know how many nights you're gonna need it?
Not sure. Definitely tonight. We'll have to see what the ship's schedules are like.
Excellent. I mean, if you want to know the ship schedule, you can always go across the bridge here over to the port office. It's almost directly across.
Mm-hmm. Well, then we'll settle for tonight. I'll book a room for tonight, and we'll work on the next night.
That was kind of an out of character comment. Would it be decent of me to invite the others to stay at my homestead if they wished? Or do you want us all to kind of stay here?
You can do whatever you think would be good.
I'll mention to the other one, hey, it's not great accommodations. I'm sure this would be better, so take that into account. but you could come and stay in my barn with me. I don't live in the homestead with my family. I live in the barn. I have my own space. It's not necessarily comfortable, but it's warm. Family's friendly-ish. I mean, they're dwarves. They're not like me. They're more like what you think of as dwarves. But they leave me alone for the most part because, well, I do what I do. So you're the halfling, the human, you're all welcome to come. With, of course, Jake.
If we meet back at the barn, we can talk about this old spot at Goat Hill. Those kids from the Grogton farm, they found some old caves over there. Maybe we can go check that out tomorrow in a day or two.
We're in Goat Hill. My family kind of lives sort of on Goat Hill.
Really?
So like the north side?
I think it's more on the other side, but yeah.
The other side of north would be south. And I'll break it here. I'll talk to Samuel quick. I had looked at. I can actually write on the map, can't I?
Yep. Yeah. So, do you want me to throw the whole? I can.
Oh no, I was gonna. I draw. Gotta be a way to pick a color, right? No.
Yeah. So if you click the pin, you click the dot next to it.
Okay. See that?
Yeah, I see that.
I was thinking of that as being their homestead. Would you like to be somewhere else? It's not really a problem for me. I just saw the farm fields and figured somewhere right around there. They wouldn't be right in town and kind of a mile out.
No, that's fine.
Okay, back in character. Well, it's on the south side. Got a couple of, I mean, I suppose there could be that I haven't found yet, but I would think that probably be to the north or to the northwest. It could even be to the northeast up by the Hollow Forest.
Oh, rumors are pretty unreliable on where the exact location is. But if we go up, let's see, just north of Shepherd's Hill Road, that's where they found this cave entrance.
Well, I guess they would be on the other side of that the kind of trees and forest there that we don't go too much.
But,
that's a
me,
possibility.
You, that guy over there, that elf, and the guy who keeps on eating, you'd probably go check that out sometime.
The guy who keeps on eating.
It's my official nickname now.
Yeah. He'll forever be known as the guy who keeps on eating.
I don't know what he does, but he looks like he can help us.
Delaney's has been busy eating and kind of listening. She says, interesting you talk. I heard a rumor on the ship from somebody else that they said that the wizard had been driven out of town some time ago. And he's headed northwest. Have you heard of this one?
What did you say? It was a wizard?
A wizard, yeah.
Oh. Don't know.
It was like very strange. They were very vague about it. They were just going on about talking about this town, and he was driven out. Apparently, he was digging up bodies in the graveyard. But he'd headed up to the northwest.
Well, that might get you driven out of town. You can see the locals already have a little bit of a negative viewpoint about the halflings and the elves. So, digging graves, digging up bodies, really freak people out a little bit here. Definitely. Get some stuff.
For a little town, there's an awful lot seems to be going on here.
Well, there's also some barrow mines up near, barrow mounds up near Oxwood. Maybe that's where that wizard went. But we don't need anyone digging up stuff around here.
But the Elkswood is once on the road up towards the Glades, and there's some hills in there. I mean, it's basically south. Get my direction west, basically south of the Three Top Hills and the Four Top Hills is that road through the whole island. Samuel, I take it the light green is like lighter forest, and like the dark green is a much more heavy forest.
Yeah, so the area with the sort of tree with the rounded, with one tree with a rounded top, that's kind of light, and then there's the same color but sort of has three trees on it. That's a more dense forest, but that's a temperate forest.
Okay.
The darker color is a mixture of temperate and pine, and
Okay.
there's a third even darker one that's all like conifers and pine, sort of
Oh,
more
I see.
higher altitude trees.
I see that. I didn't see the Foothold Mountains earlier, but now I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, if there's something missing around Goat Hill, I would definitely like to check that out because that could affect my family. And if there's something going on up at Half Hill, I would definitely like to go check that out pretty quickly as well. Now, myself personally, I'd like to go up to the Foothold Mountains, but we don't have to do that for a while. We got to get to know each other a little bit.
I would very much
That's a long
like to
trip,
check out the caves. It's possible there might be refugees hiding in those caves. And I thank you for your hospitality, friend dwarf, but I'm going to stay the night at the inn. I don't want to impose. And
Oh.
Zeno also book a room at the inn.
Okay.
Come around.
All right. So is anyone going to the homestead with Reknet?
Bert's considering it, but then he thought about how much cabbage stew he's had, and I think he's going to book a room as well.
Okay.
I imagine I played with Rekmet quite a bit, so I'll head over with him.
Okay.
All right, well, where do we all want to meet tomorrow? And what do we want to do? Do we want to try and go check out the Half Hill, or do we want to check out the stuff that goes close to us? Or close to my homestead?
I want to check out the caves. I am searching for someone.
One for caves.
I'll vote for
Yeah.
caves.
Caves?
Friends, I have nothing better to do. I'll go to the caves.
All right, well, how about this? I know you check on the ship schedule. I'll do that this afternoon.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll give them kind of direction how to get to our homestead, and we can head up there in the morning along with, what was it, the halfling was going to come in the morning as well.
Yep.
Okay, so was the monk going with us, or was the monk staying here?
The monk's sleeping at the inn, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll meet you tomorrow.
Just in the morning, we can head out and start searching around Shepherd's Hill, or Goat Hill, sorry, north of the Shepherd's Hill Road track.
Okay. So what would you like to do for the rest of the afternoon? Are you going to actually go to the port office?
Yeah, Leonie's will as we disperse, she will head out and go to the port office. She'll just check to see what the schedule's really like.
Okay.
She's intrigued. She has no particular rush now to go away.
Okay. Do you know what the name of the ship that you were on was?
It was the Lost Bell.
Okay.
That's a terrible name for a ship.
I know. I now know. I'm not sure. Should be called a Lost Mast.
Okay. So you're going to head over to the port office?
Yes.
Okay. The port officer there, his name is Alder Helliot. He is the main port officer for the entire town. And so he has a schedule of what ships are currently docked and what ships are set to come in. And the port office is, whoops, on the wrong screen here. The port office is literally directly across, directly across from the tavern that you were in. But you have to come up and go across this bridge then.
Okay. So I'll wander and I'll go and see the portmaster and inquire of what the ship schedule is.
Okay.
And peruse. Well, so Leonese is thinking, it's like, well, she really wasn't heading anywhere for anything in particular. She was just looking for actually an old family friend, but that nobody had heard of for a while. But it was more of a whim rather than a quest.
Mm-hmm.
So she is thinking about staying around for a few days, but would be interested in knowing what the general schedule is.
Okay.
She'll take a look and she'll make a few notes.
Okay. So Alder tells you that right now, of course, the Lost Bell is in port, but it's being worked on. Of course, it's going to be put up in dry dock so they can repair the mast. So, of course, that's not going anywhere anytime soon. The Lady Ruby is leaving this afternoon and headed to the mainland. The Prince John is leaving tomorrow at some point, probably in the morning, possibly in the afternoon. It depends on how quickly they can get everything that they need done and loaded up. And they're actually just going up to the northern portion of the island, okay, up where the larger town is. And then there are 3 ships that are merchant ships. One of them is called Heaven's Mast. One is Sharp Goods, and one is the Wave Sleeper. And all 3 of those are leaving not tomorrow, but the next day. And they'll be carrying goods of some sort, probably to the mainland, but then they take a circuitous route to go to multiple different delivery spots.
Yeah. Yes, don't fancy the ships. Well, all right. I'll maybe call back in a few days.
Sure. There's a couple of ships set to come in tomorrow, but we don't log them in until they actually get here. They're regulars, so they're merchant ships as well. But merchant ships will often take on passengers if you want to travel in one of them. So
they do, but usually they're slow and they go weird places.
That's true. Yes.
Well, thank you for your time. I will see you shortly.
Of course. Not very many passenger ships come this way. I mean, this isn't really a touristy place. It's people that come here, they come here to work or to deliver goods or to pick up goods to deliver. So you might be hard pressed to find a comfortable passenger liner.
I know. I'm assuming but the broken mast. I mean, the Lost Bell must leave at some point.
It will as soon as it gets fixed, but that's probably going to be a while. So they have to make sure they can pay for the repairs too, before they let them leave.
And they do owe me a passage, so.
Yeah, sure, of course. You can petition the Baron. Well, you can petition at the town hall for the Baron to grant you a writ of approval, and then they can pay you back for that passage rather than you waiting around for them.
Interesting. I'll bear that in mind. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Hmm.
This, unfortunately, is not an uncommon occurrence. We have plenty of ships come limping in here. The Banning Sea sometimes gets some ill winds and does a number on the ships, and so it's pretty common for ships to come in that need repair, and so we have a whole process in place for that, just in case.
Oh, organized. I do like that.
Well, the Baron does like to make sure he can get his tax cut.
Ha!
He charges
Money, of course.
tariffs for any writ that he has to approve. That ship that is at fault has to pay some fees. And
It must be quite lucrative then.
well, I wouldn't say lucrative. It doesn't happen that often, but
Well, thank you. I will. I'll maybe just wait for the lost bell. Seems quite a pleasant place to be.
all right, sounds good. I'll see you later.
Thank you. And Leonese will wander back to. She'll take a wander through town as she heads back to the inn, just to
Okay.
inspect, see what's there. She's just meandering, soaking up.
So the port office is in that the neighborhood there has a lot of the stores in town. So there's let me make sure I tell you the right thing here. There's a right to the left of the port office is a little shop called Willem's Finery, where they sell fine clothing and equipment. To the left of that is a brewer, Zelgel's Family Brewery. Just north of that is Leuven's General Supplies. And just north of Leuven's is Gellen's Fletching and Bows. And to the right of that is the tannery. And just south of the tannery there's two buildings. One of them is the butcher, and one of them is Templeton's, the other tavern.
Right. She'll spend some time, I'm assuming, there's at the Fletcher's to just window shopping, basically.
Okay.
But, yeah. She's meandering, and then she'll work her way. She inspects, and then works her way back to the inn.
So you want to go into the Fletcher shop?
No, she's just kind of looking.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's some window with some wares.
Yeah,
that
so
are being
there's smaller windows. They're not like huge, fashion designer display windows, but there are windows so that you can see in the store to see if it's open and whatnot. And you see, 6 or 7 tables laid out, and there's a couple of bows hanging on the wall, and there's a person sitting on a stool, sort of, doing some crafts work. It looks pretty utilitarian. There's not a ton of decoration that is oops, I lost my video. Where'd it go? There we go.
We're still talking.
There's not a ton of fancy sort of stuff. In fact, pretty much just walking around this quarter of the town, you can tell that the town is, on one hand, you can tell that it's well organized and it's relatively clean, but on the other hand, there's nothing fancy about it. Even Willem's Finery is a very much a sort of high low end, if that makes sense. It's sort of silks, but nothing exotic or super fancy. But silk itself in this area is is fancy on its own, but nothing like what you might see in a nation's capital or in you know in a large kingdom or anything like that. This is part of a kingdom. The current king is King Drummond III, and the Baron of this location, this southern tip of the island, the lands that the Baron rules, the Baron actually was knighted as well by the king. So they have a pretty close relationship, and so the king kind of lets the Baron do whatever he wants with this region. But you could tell that it's pretty organized, but just not real fancy. So
Right. Okay. So yeah, so I'm probably not going to be buying any clothes from here because they won't live up to my standards.
Probably not.
Just for a little background, where's the king located at? On the
Far,
island?
far to the north, about so you're on the southern tip of the island. Basically, there's a little slight bit of land south of you, but you're basically on the southern part. The king is in the town that's almost smack dab, just slightly north of the middle of the island. So several dozens of miles away. Because the island's about 100. I think I said 100 feet long. On the intro, is that what I said? I want to make sure.
Yes.
I say the wrong thing. Yeah, the island is roughly 100 miles long and 50 to 70 miles wide. It's not an exact triangle or rectangle, of course. And so you're on the southern portion, and the kingdom is probably, or the town, that the capital city is probably, 50, 60 miles north of you. So far, but not that far, right? I mean, you could get there in a few days.
But the kingdom is located on this island.
Say that again.
The kingdom is actually located on this island.
The seat of the kingdom. Yeah, the whole island basically is the kingdom.
Cool.
And then there's a little bit of land on the mainland to the south that is kind of claimed by King Drummond, and there's a couple of towns down there, but it's not extremely well populated down there. So the Marl is just south of that. The sort of hills that are to the north of the Marl is just south of where the area I'm talking about. And so there have been lots of orc raids and whatnot in that area. So the land's not really contested except by orcs. So the king kind of claims it, but then when there's an orc raid, he doesn't often have enough time to get people there to defend it. So yeah, it's you get the idea.
Okay.
It's mine, but I don't care.
Right. Yeah. Until he can get probably a big enough contingent or strong enough, contingent there, then it's not, it's not going to be something that he spends a ton of time on. The island is prosperous right now, so perhaps it'll grow,
It's one of those outlying regions that really doesn't provide enough tax revenue to be all that important.
Yeah, so, and that's kind of suspected. That's kind of what the suspicion is, that, wow, what happened to the screen? There it goes.
That stream just did something weird.
Yeah, it came back. It's kind of suspected that, the king and the baron are kind of trying to build up everything and get a much higher population. And, they've been doing things like, trying to encourage families to farm more land and have more children and things like that to grow the population. So.
Sorry, I remember to shut off the video, but I forgot to shut off audio.
So anything else you want to do in the evening before you meet up in the morning at the Reckmit homestead?
What I know I was going to do, and I'm not sure, Jake, were you going to go check out the Abbey, or were you just going to kind of turn along or do your own thing? Because I'm going to take my little pull cart and go around to the other inns and taverns and pick up any leftover vegetables and junk that they have to bring back to the farm, like I typically get to do once a week. Part of why I want to go around.
You're muted.
No, Matt.
Not you. George
you.
was muted.
I'll stay here at the barn and just hang out for a bit.
Okay.
You know,
And I'll catch you later, sir. You know how to
daily
get back?
rituals. All that.
Just for your information, there are three sort of main churches in town. There is the Abbey, which is on the hill on the western part of town, which is an abbey of an abbey of Eolor, who is the god of the sea. And then there is a temple to Orzar, okay, in the middle of town, actually right across from the blacksmith. Excuse me. And then there is a house of Saint Luther on the other hill, sort of south of the Barons, actually not south, more east of the Barons castle there.
And I believe Saint Luther and Durandale are kind of united.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yep. Exactly. So you would probably.
I'll call it a trinity.
Yeah. So as a cleric of Durandale, you would probably sort of know that you could go to the House of Saint Luther if you needed something, and they would recognize your position as a cleric.
Of course, I'm part of the Trinity. I just figured this out. Durandale and Jake.
So what's next? What are we all doing?
I think I know I'm going to go by the brewer, drop off some supplies, and if I happen to see Leonaise, I'll wave to her and say, "Look forward to meeting you tomorrow." And on my way back to the farmstead or homestead, I'm going to stop in at the House of Saint Luther, drop off a little minor gift or whatever, copper piece or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
If I happen to see Jake, I'll say, "Good to see you, sir," and head on back to where I'm going to go. Do my little studies, that kind of stuff that I engage upon.
Okay.
And Ings will kind of like just, she'll be wandering around, stretching her legs, and then she'll head back to the inn and just kind of relax.
Okay.
Basically rest.
I was going to retire. Early so he can meditate. Prepare for tomorrow.
Okay.
Bert's gonna go happily go into a food coma for the night.
Okay.
She's being a halfling.
So the Rusty Anchor gets pretty rowdy at night, and so when dusk falls, there's sort of a rush of people into the place, and it's rowdy and loud and boisterous, and somebody pulls out a drum and somebody pulls out a flute, and they're playing music and laughing and drinking and doing all of that stuff. And they're out on the deck, out on the docks there, just being generally loud. So the halfling's probably not having a problem sleeping. The elf might be a little annoyed at the boisterousness of the crowd, but perhaps not.
Right, actually, if it sounds like it's a good time, she may actually just have a wander down and observe. Maybe have another goblet or two of that local wine, which definitely was better as he was going down than after, but wasn't bad.
Okay.
But she's going to sit and observe. You know.
Okay.
She likes people watching.
Okay. Well, as you're people watching, you notice that there are several occasions when a fight almost breaks out, and um, the same person seems to always kind of shut it down. And you learn just from listening and sort of paying attention that the person who is shutting it down is Pickle Bailey. He's a halfling who is he looks more skinny than any halfling you've ever seen. He looks kind of almost malnourished, and he looks a little bit dirty, and his clothes are, kind of ripped and stained. But he's got big muscles, and whenever anybody starts acting up, he basically goes over and he says, either take it outside and I'll push into the river, or you stop. And occasionally somebody tries to keep going, and he tries another tack and says, well, let me arm wrestle you, and if we arm wrestle and I win, you have to stop fighting, right? And he's won 3 arm wrestling matches now tonight. And after that, people quit sort of acting out, and he's now sitting quietly, sort of just drinking his ale. And as the night wears on, it gets a little bit quieter and a little bit quieter. And late into the night, eventually there's only 4 or 5 other people there. And Pickle Bailey happens to be one of them that is still there. The owner of the Rusty Anchor, whose name is Ramsey, is there. Becker went home a while ago. And there's a couple of local farmers and a fisherman there as well.
Okay, but I would have probably gone to bed, as you started to calm down.
Okay. So other than that, I was going to say nothing much really happens, but you get the idea that that's kind of a typical night there at the Rusty Anchor. So
yeah,
that's kind of how it goes. Anything else anybody wants to do for the evening? No.
Nope.
Okay. So you wake up in the morning nice and refreshed, maybe. Guess it depends on how much you drank of that wine.
Yeah.
So we're a boring bunch so far.
Bert is definitely more well rested than he has been the last few days, because being on the ship was not a happy.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that too much.
So it's morning. What are you doing? I'm assuming that that you're all going to just head to the barn of the Reckmit's homestead.
As Zeno wakes up before dawn, to bed early to rise, and immediately heads on over to Reckmit's. Keeping an eye along the way for any other their early morning risers or late night that may be still wandering.
So how early are you out?
What time is sunrise?
Probably about, let's see. I gotta remember what time of year I said it was.
You said it was frosty.
Yeah.
That's 5:10.
Yeah. So it's probably, the sun is probably going to be out around 5:30, 6 a.m.
Yeah, he'll wake up at 5 o'clock.
So at 5 o'clock in the morning, the fishermen are all coming out of their houses and getting in their boats and heading out. And the fishermen are... Wow, the stream got really weird again. The fishermen are in this part of town. So down here in this sort of southern area down here, these are all the sort of where all the fishermen live down here. These little houses in this area here. And as you come out and you're just sort of, looking around paying attention, you see probably 15, 20 fishermen there coming out and getting in their boats and getting ready to head out because this is sort of prime time for them. But really, there's not a lot of other activity. That's pretty much it. You do hear some chanting up on the hill where the abbey is. The abbey in the sort of the eastern or western portion of the town. They often come out in the morning, and as the sun rises, they say prayers and chants and whatnot as it comes over the ocean. Because Elor is the god of the oceans, so they're often up at sunrise. But other than that, there's not a ton of activity. It's a pretty sleepy town in that respect. Probably if you were to go out to the farms, you would see a ton of activity because they get up with the sun as well, or before the sun, and do a lot of things there.
I'm gonna head over to Rickman's then.
Okay.
Yeah. Leonese will work her way over there. Maybe join the others. She won't be too early in the morning. She'll enjoy her morning time, looking out over the ocean, looking at the just the picturesque views.
Okay.
Bert also will not be too early. He's more of an early to bed, late to rise kind of person. So yeah, a little bit later on in the morning, he'll work his way over.
What about Jake? Is Jake an early to rise person?
Oh, Jake is definitely an early to rise, up in the morning with Durandale, singing his praises, being careful not to wake up Rekmek too much, but definitely got the prayers going on, things like that.
Okay. So eventually you all gather at Rekmet's homestead, his family's homestead.
Yeah. Not mine.
And what is it that you want to do?
We'll come in.
Greet them very cheerfully, happily. Ask them how their night was. Order my dinner.
So I think we need to figure out where the old Grogton farm is, up on Shepherd's Hill Road, so that way we can find this. It's basically a ram's head at the base of Goat Hill. Get those kids to lead us out there. Maybe we can figure out what's happening.
Which direction is that?
That would be east of here.
Yeah, but northeast or
Almost directly east, because we are. It's not really on the map that's up right now in Owlbear.
Oh, here. Let me switch the map.
Is there two Owlbear links, I wonder? Because it looks like me, Chris, and Matt are in one. I wonder if we're in the wrong one here, though.
Let me throw the... There should not be two. There's only one. Let me throw it in the Discord real quick.
Yeah.
Do they have any
I see Robert.
recognition of that name of the farm?
You know the Grogton family.
Okay, so I would kind of know where they lived, right?
Sure.
And what was the rumor?
The whole rumor is there's a hidden dungeon below a rock-shaped, like a ram's head at the base of Goat Hill, just north of the Shepherd's Hill Road. Kids on the old Grogton farm stumbled into it one night. They call it Ram's Rock and insist there's something behind it. And please note that kids is spelled Kids as opposed to Kidds, which would be an evil DM trick to play on their party.
I don't know why you would suspect I would play a trick like that.
This would be my best guess of where it is, because my farm is technically somewhere in this region. And you're talking the base, so it's got to be north of this road here. So it has to be somewhere, and I would guess the farm was not in the woods, though I guess it could be.
There are orchard farms, but the Grogton farm is not an orchard farm.
Okay. So is it more over like?
It's just north of Shepherd's Hill Road there.
Yeah, it's a long road.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was looking at the stream, and the stream does not show that. I might have to take that down because I think that's part of what's messing with the stream.
I blame Chuck.
Yeah, let's blame Chuck. Everything's Chuck's.
Yeah, especially while he's listening. Always Chuck.
I think he's not listening yet, or anymore. Let me take a pause and fix that because I think that's what's causing the issues here. At least part of them.
Oh, the Ram's Head on Goat's Hill, is that where the caves are?
Supposedly.
It's something about caves.
Let's remove that.
Kids can wander quite a bit, though, from their farms, so have to check kind of this whole area out, I guess.
So let me throw a...
Caves could be in the woods.
Well, this could be those kids. This could be their moment to be adventurers like us. Here, hold my spear. See?
I'd love to carry a spear, but it's too unburdensome for me. We're waiting. So... I'll ask Leonise and the monk, like, so what's the mainland like? I've never been off this island. I've never traveled more than 50 miles from my homestead. What's it like out there?
Oh, it's big and large in that case.
Are there other dwarves?
Dwarves. There are elves. Even some of our small friends. Lots of humans.
I keep telling him this is the mainland.
Yeah, but that's from a small little hamlet. Lindelofen isn't all that big.
So the Grogton farm is basically on the owlbear map I put a blue dot where it is. It's right to the right hand side of the L in the word hill.
I see it.
That's where Old Grogton's farm is.
Okay.
Or change the color. Or do you not get to change the color?
Is there, when you choose the little paintbrush thing, does a menu appear on the top of your screen?
No.
That's weird. What color would you like? Because I can change the color.
Doesn't matter. It can be that. Okay, so
let's make it dark.
My suggestion is, because seeing as we're starting here-ish, that we would want to check. They say it's north of the Grognard farm and in the foothills. It could be in these woods, probably somewhere along this area, because the kids are probably not going to go more than a mile or a half mile away from their farm. That's just my guess. I tended to be a little more rambunctious, so hence why I got in a lot more trouble. So that is going to be a couple, or at least a mile from where we're at now. We'll have to go through these woods. I have to start searching. What say the rest of you?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
good plan
I'm
to me.
ready.
Okay, so
Do it.
how would you like to do the search?
Well, it says the rock is right at the base of the hill, just north of the road. So we start at the road, then just search around the base of the hill.
My only suggestion would be, let's say we start here at the farm. Let's go to the base of the hill here and follow it along the line of the hill.
Yep.
We could spread out a little bit and kind of comb the area.
That would
Yeah.
seem a reasonable idea.
Do we want to just ask the kids to take us there?
Well, what we could do, probably a better idea, is head down the base of the hill along, and when we get to whatever point, run to the farm or connect into the farm and see if we can talk to the kids. And see if we don't find it along this area here, maybe they can pinpoint it for us somewhere up in here, which we haven't found. If we haven't found it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that way we're kind of doing both. We're looking for ourselves, and if we can't find it, we can get the kids to lead us to it.
Right.
At least do the searches on the way to the town, because to get down to the road and go over, we might as well just kind of go through the woods and have a little fun time. We can get to know each other while I stand behind the cleric, Jake.
I mean, we could just go because we'd follow the hill as we went, right? I mean,
That was if it's on the base of the hill, it might be in those woods. We just follow that along, and we get to the point where I know where the farm is. We'll cut across the field into the farm and talk to the family.
Cool.
Jake, how big are you, by the way?
I'm about 6 foot tall.
Oh, perfect. I can hide right behind you. Wait,
You hide behind me.
I'm not hiding behind you. I'm right there to give you a rune, a little blessing.
All right, I'm good with that.
Push you in the right direction.
Yeah.
You like to hit things, I know.
I do.
I
It's
like
a lot easier.
Great combination.
So give me 2 seconds here.
Your brains, my brawn.
Yeah, brains. Let's not get carried away now.
That-
I'm friendly. And I've always been known for my wisdom or my brains. Right, though, compared to the rest of my kin. Just don't want to get your expectations all too high for the guys who don't know me.
And if I recall, we do not want to get hurt in this game because going unconscious is very bad. Correct, Samuel?
Going unconscious is bad, but you're not dead until you hit negative 10. So
Right.
if you get between -7 and -9, you start losing hit points every round. So if you're not able to be stabilized at that point, you probably are going to die. So basically getting to -6 is real bad. Getting to -2, as long as you can get some healing, you're probably going to be okay.
Right.
Now, if you're at -2 and everybody else is still fighting and also going down, then yeah, of course you're not.
Yeah.
But you're not permadead at 0. Okay. So your plan is to start sort of by the farm, go along the base of the hill, and go through this sort of small set of trees here. Of course, I say small, but each of these hexes is a half mile. So you're gonna go through a mile's worth of forest, checking the base of the hill here. Is that what I'm hearing? You're starting from that side.
Yeah, seems like that's the plan.
Okay.
Correct.
So
Basically, when we get to the part on the base of the hill through the woods where I would estimate and guesstimate with my memory of this area, that would go to the Grognard farm, that we'd cut over there to go right to them, or work along the hill and cut down. at the point where it's effective to cut that angle off. So basically, we'll go through a half mile of the woods through here, catch this base of the hill, probably a mile-ish, 3/4 of a mile in the woods, and then cut down to the Grognard farm is the intent if we don't find the caves in the forested area along the base of the hill.
Okay.
Anyone have a disagreement with that? We're
Nope,
good.
sounds pretty logical to me.
It sounds like a plan. Okay. So who is comfortable outdoors?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, comfortable enough, I suppose.
Yeah, Zeno's pretty comfortable outdoors. He's went on retreats and he's been outdoors quite a bit.
Okay.
Evening.
Does anyone have excuse me, does anybody have any special knowledge of the forest or any special abilities that allow them to detect things or notice things that's over and above the normal? Just checking, because I have not memorized your character sheets at this point. So
Lenny's has got, he has a good chance of moving silently in the wild. Enhanced senses, obviously, is an elf. Spotting hidden doors is something.
okay.
Certainly if we're looking. Depends on how you want to play if we're looking or not.
Sure.
The only thing that Reckman might have to his advantage is his eidetic memory. So having been in this kind of area, if he would remember anything about it, but not necessarily comfortable outdoors with respect to any kind of rangery or outdoor skills.
Okay. So I would say then that Reckmit, since his family homestead, his farmstead, is basically near these hills, you know that there is an animal that lives in the woods in these areas. You've probably never seen one yourself, but you've heard from some of the loggers and foresters that they roam the hills in this area. They are forest hill creatures, and they are called Kuthis. They are sort of wolf-shaped, wolf-like. They're jet black. Their hair is very thin. They have a large crest of hair on the ridge of their back. And they stalk through the forest in groups. And they're small-sized creatures, though. So even though I say wolf-like, that's just sort of in shape and demeanor, not in size. They're small size, but they hunt in packs.
Do they tend to be nocturnal, diurnal, or daytime?
They tend to be dawn and dusk hunters.
Okay.
But that's not, that's just a tendency, not a given. But I'm going to throw a picture up here. I'll put it in Discord first so that you can see it. And then I'm going to put it on the stream.
What I'll say is to my companions as we get kind of into the woods to say, the only thing I do know of, and I haven't run into these myself, is I've heard that there's some small wolf-like creatures that inhabit these woods. So you might want to just at least be on the lookout and have everyone kind of be prepared for it, just in case. But I've lived here a long time and I've never run into them myself.
So they're the size of a corgi, right?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
What's a corgi?
It's like a pug, but
So
looks more like a dog.
Are you making fun of my Corbin heritage? You are? Awesome.
So there's a picture there for the stream, so that people can see it. And I threw it in the Discord too, in case you don't happen to be watching the stream. That is a Kuthis. And remember, they're small, so yeah, the size of a sort of in real life corgi, a little bit. They're sort of more elongated than that and a little bit taller, but they're still small creatures. They look like they have smooth hides, but they do have fine hair all over it, except this area right in the ridge of their back. And of course, you can see their sort of elongated snout with a bunch of teeth in it.
Pleasant looking creature.
Yeah, pleasant looking. So,
But it could be a little scarier.
so as you're going through this forest, this is what Rekhmit is telling you about. And so
Could be annoying to run into some of those.
I'm only about 3 foot tall, so a corgi sounds pretty vicious.
But
yeah, you could probably ride one of these.
Oh no, there's a plan.
And so you get about a half a mile into this forested area. You have not seen any rocks that have an odd shape. Because remember, the rumors sort of hinged on the fact that this rock had a weird shape, right? It had it had the shape of a ram's head. It wasn't just a typical rock that they suddenly stumbled into a cave, near this normal rock. You have not seen anything that looks like that. But as you're traveling through, you start hearing things. And you get the distinct feeling that something is following you.
What could possibly go wrong with that?
So if you want to roll me a wisdom siege check, I can tell you how many creatures you think you hear around. You're all kind of equally at home or not at home in the forest, so...
So for the wisdom check, it's just a D20 with our bonus.
Yeah, so this is just sort of a standard check, so you're going to roll the D20 plus your wisdom modifier plus your level.
So don't forget to add your level. Okay, how does this dice work for adding?
11.
And where are we rolling this? Just on our desk?
I mean, we can go with the honor system. I'm not so worried about that. If you have Owlbear open, Owlbear has a dice roller too.
It does. Oh. So I got a 15 for my first roll, double clicked. Sorry. 15 plus 2, so 17.
Okay.
And
I just got a 19 plus 1, so a 20.
21.
Okay. So the target number is 18 if wisdom is not prime and 12 if it is prime. It's a very basic
I did
check.
not make it.
If you succeeded on your check, you feel like there are 4 creatures stalking you as a group. They are moving very silently, but you still were able to detect them because there are so many. But because there are 4 of them at least, it sounds like they're sort of in a semicircle behind you.
I'm sure they're just hedgehogs. With my 5.
Yeah, you guys are all paranoid. There's nothing following us.
There's something definitely following us.
And hedgehogs. Hopefully they're not skunk dogs, because those turn their little tails, their spiky tails on you, and then you just smell forever. But I still move behind Jake.
Well, hold on. If they're behind us, are you behind him or are you in front of him now?
Technically, I guess I'm in front of him, and I turn him around.
I think it's one of those things that we have it down. We have our own advantage in combat where if I turn around, he's naturally tracking behind me.
Whoop!
So if I go in a complete circle, he's going in a complete circle around me. We've mastered this over the past 6 months of friendship. So
He calls it friendship. I call it protection.
Wait a minute.
The cleric's going like, what, wait.
And I thought I had the wisdom. Clearly.
I'm wise sometimes. No,
So-
not actually.
Looking back behind us, I'm going to try to see if I can see one of these small creatures.
Okay.
Or creatures. Hopefully it's just those meddlesome kids.
Yeah, it's just the Crompton kids.
Those middleton kids are annoying us.
Irregardless, I pull out my sling and a sling stone.
Go ahead and give me how about an intelligence siege check?
Who is that? Just Vic?
Yeah, because he's specifically looking around for them.
Okay.
But I'm a cleric. We don't do those roles. We really don't do those roles, Samuel.
Well, you're doing them now.
If I was Prime, I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah. So you look to where you think you hear them, and when you're looking, when you look directly at the spot where you thought you saw it, you don't see anything. But in your peripheral vision, out of the corners of your eyes, you see something from each side, as if it's moving. But when you turn to look and focus on that thing, you don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
But what you saw also, you saw specifically something that had fur. You saw fur move.
Okay. Something's coming up on us, and I can't see it. I totally can't see it. Samuel, I'm sorry, what time of day is it roughly again? Still morning?
It's morning, but you're in a pretty thick forest, so it's relatively dim. It's not bright light by any means, but it's not dark. I mean, it's,
right.
But it's still about 10, 11 a.m. maybe. It depends on how long it took the halfling to get out of bed and get over to the farmstead.
Yeah, I think 11 is probably the safer.
You did pretty good for a halfling. Yeah.
After a big meal.
So I will have.
He had to eat.
I will have my bastard sword at the ready and my shield as well. Just waiting, starting to freak out a little bit over whether it's going to come on the left or the right.
Mm-hmm.
So Lenny's will be like, "What do you see?"
I saw a furry creature or something back there. I can't tell what it is.
Can you see where they are?
No. It disappeared out of my sight.
You see Lenny starting to mutter and move her hands as she looks around.
Do we want to continue backing up in the direction we were going, but keeping our attention to where you guys are hearing these phantom sounds?
Yeah, as I step back, you step back, right?
Oh, I'm fully back.
He's holding on to your belt loop.
That way you can watch and I can work backwards.
So Xenolestimus is going to look for a short tree that he might be able to snap some of the branches on to make makeshift spikes. He's going to kneel down with his back to one of these spikes and in a defensive stance to try to roll out of the way if anything jumps at him.
Okay. Everyone's still moving though, right? You're kind of inching along.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. So hopefully I can draw out whatever it is.
Yeah, like I say,
And, maybe they can come up behind me.
The knees will be stopped.
Not whatever's following us. Then the rest of the party can come up behind them as they're confronting me. So I'm going to stop moving and kind of get myself in a defensive position with some tree branch spikes behind me if I can.
Okay. What's everyone else doing? You see Zeno stop.
Yeah, Leonese is essentially stopped.
Okay. Are you casting a spell?
Essentially, she's ready to cast a spell. Yeah.
Okay. What about Bert and Jake and Reckmit?
Carry on, my friends. I will draw them out, and then you can come up behind them and strike.
All right. I'm good with that plan.
Yeah, Bert will stop moving. Not too far away though.
I will cautiously be walking backwards.
And I will do the same.
Okay.
Allowed maybe the whatever it is, the skunk hedgehogs to attack.
I'll be like left foot, right foot.
And I'll be standing around me if there's anything trying to like flank us.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's time to roll initiative because you're not surprised because you did detect that something is there. Even though you're not quite sure what's happening. So this way you won't actually be surprised. So in Castles and Crusades, we're not using side initiative, so we're not just rolling one for everyone. You're all gonna roll a d10, and so initiative is rolled each round. So everybody rolls a d10. In other words.
Yep.
Sometimes I use side initiative where I have one of you roll, and then that's just the initiative for everybody. We'll see how it works with just having everybody roll their own initiative. Sometimes it's better to do side initiative.
Are there any?
Then you can work together and you can decide who's going to go win.
Did my roll show up?
Are there any modifiers to that roll, Samuel?
Nope, it's a flat d10. The only time there's a modifier that comes in is if there's a tie. Your dex is going to break the tie. So I see a 9 from Zeno and an 8 from Leonese.
No, Zeno got a 4.
Oh, is that old? Okay. Yeah. I'm
Overly cautious beginning adventurers.
Yeah. So I'm not thrilled with Albert Rodeo in terms of the stream here because it's not showing me everything that I want to see. So we might have to.
Yeah, because I clicked on the show rolls and it only shows it after you rolled it.
Yeah. So let's see. Let me see here. So I see Bert has a 10. Leonese has an 8, and Reckmit has a 2. And I don't see a roll for Zeno.
I just cleared it. Zeno's got a 4.
Okay. All right. So let me roll a 10.
I'm just gonna watch y'all and see what you do.
5. Okay.
Then finish them off from the rear.
You'll come in and just like chop them and hack them to bits, right?
Look what I did.
So it looks like that we've got Bert going first, and then Leonese, and then I think
hedgehog.
The creatures are going.
Hedgehogs.
So,
The hedgehogs.
How do I hop into the? I'm into Albert, into the game. I see Bert and everyone, but
Okay. So if you click on the left-hand side, down at the bottom, there's a bunch of buttons. There's 5 buttons. The top one is a little pencil-looking thing. That'll let you change your name.
okay.
And then also on the left, there is, at the top now, next to where it says party, there's a little square. If you press that square, that'll open up the dice roller for you.
Nice.
And then the dice are under that, and you can make the dice roller bigger or smaller, and you can actually change the color of the dice by kicking the little palette. if that shows
Okay.
up for you.
Cool. Okay, so do you automatically see my result then, or?
So it should show me your result when you roll. If you click so after you roll, it shows up in the tray, and then it'll show up on the left hand side. And if you click the X and get rid of it, it goes away, and then nobody can see it.
Okay.
There is a button down below all the dice, and it'll say hide dice roll or show dice roll, and you want to make sure that's clicked on to show.
Yeah, good point.
Okay, yeah, good point. Also, if you want to do more than one roll, you can just instead of choosing a die each time, you can just click the reroll button down in the lower right of the dice tray.
Okay. Cool. So it shows that I rolled a 5.
Okay. So.
And it showed up on our screens too. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Everybody can see what everybody rolls. It's kind of nice.
So.
Well, you turn it on if the castle keeper wants us to keep it kind of private or whatever too. So.
Yeah. So it looks like the order is Bert, Leonise, the Hedgehogs, Zeno, Jake, and Rekmit. Does that sound right?
Yep, and I'm going to rename every creature with a new nickname.
All right, so Bert.
All right, Bert will come up.
Sorry, I was just going to sort of restate the situation for you. So right now, Zeno is sort of crouching with a pointy stick. Leonise is muttering to herself, also basically standing still. Jake and Rekmit are kind of backing up very slowly, almost tussling with each other to figure out who's going to be in the front and who's going to be in the back. And there are, you think, maybe 4 creatures that are... Whoops. Oh, darn it. I just killed the...
Oh, and let me be clear. There's no doubt about who's in front and who's in back. I know what happens. I give him ale and sauerkraut, and he stands in front. Praise his way to victory.
Fair enough. But so that's the situation. So, Bert, it's your turn. You know there are probably 4, maybe 5 creatures.
All right, Bert's going to come up maybe like 5 feet behind and to the right of... it was Zeno who was crouched with the spear, right? Or the stick?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not crouched
yeah,
with
so I'll
the
come up.
stick. Yeah.
He's I was sort of making fun. He is setting himself so that he can attack anything that charges him.
Yeah, so I'll come up about 5 feet behind and to the right of him and just kind of ready my club and see if anything comes out.
Okay. Leonise.
Is so we know that roughly where they are.
Well, you're kind of not sure because when Jake tried to focus on them, he couldn't see them. But you suspect that they are sort of in a semicircle behind you, ready to trounce on you.
All right, so I am going to cast a sleep spell in that area where I think they are.
Okay.
It's a 30-foot diameter, so based upon where they are, I'm not sure how many I'll catch, but I'll try and get them.
Okay.
So that is 2d4, right? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So a total of 6 hit die. In whatever area. I've cast them into the area where we saw movement. So you obviously can decide how many I physically caught, and then there's 6 hit die.
6 hit dice worth? Okay.
Yeah. In a 30-foot diameter circle.
So you see Leonise make some mutterings and some hand gestures. And then you hear some cracking of branches and 4 distinct thuds. And as you look, you see these 4 small black creatures fall out of the trees, sort of one by one, just whoop. And a couple of them were high enough that they took out a couple of branches as they came down. Thoop, thoop, thoop. And now they're just laying on the ground. And it indeed looks like these creatures, although when they're sleeping, they look a lot less dangerous. Their mouths are closed, their giant teeth aren't showing, and they're kind of curled up, and they're very limp, and that you can see all the fur on them rather than looking like hairless beasts.
Ooh, the hedgehogs look as cute as I thought they would.
Leonise now wants to take one as a pet.
Someone put a leash on one for me.
Yeah.
It's just like Jurassic Park. You know, everyone thinks that they're cute, dinosaurs. You know, oh, let's take one home. No.
Never a good idea, right?
Let's take one home. Yeah, not a good idea.
They're just like those little pets.
Look, they're almost hairless. No allergic reaction.
Yeah, no allergies. So what would you like to do? Actually, we're still in...
Soon we're still probably in combat, right?
We're still in combat, so it would technically be their turn, but they're just snoozing away, snoring lightly, like a little puppy. Zeno.
If no other Kuthas come out, I'm going to try to focus my senses on hearing any other sounds that might be in the area.
Okay. You want to give me a wisdom siege check?
That's going to be a 6 total.
You don't notice anything. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything.
That's it.
Jake, what would you like to do?
First, I'm going to check with Rekmek to see if he did that. And then I will slowly proceed forward with my bastard sword ready and go to coup de grace one of them.
Okay. Rekmit, what do you say?
Hey, if he starts moving forward, I just let go of him.
No, when he asks you if you did it.
Which one? The backing up?
No, putting them to sleep. Or making them unconscious.
Well,
did you do that?
I don't think I did, but maybe.
Okay.
Maybe they saw the beard and they just,
They fell in awe. It's like...
It's not all about the beard.
That happened. I wouldn't deny credit. I'm sure it had something to do with it.
So I will carefully dispatch one of these creatures if I'm able to this round, Samuel.
You can. Rekmit, it's your turn.
How far away are they from me?
Probably maybe 10, 15 feet. They weren't that far from you. That's why Leonise was able to get them all. They were pretty much right on top of you, actually.
They were ready to pounce.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to slowly back up 20 feet.
Okay.
With my sling. But if no one's attacked any of them, I'm going to presume we're going to try and slowly walk away while my beard put them to sleep. I'll thank her later, but I'm going to take credit now.
It's like,
Bert?
Bert will also...
Help me out, Bert.
Yeah, I say Bert will also cautiously walk up and club one over the head.
Okay. Leonise?
We'll go and dispatch one.
Okay.
She'll go up and quite happily kill one of these things. But she will examine it because she thinks they're kind of cute.
They
Hedgehogs,
are
right?
kind of cute. They're kind of cute, but they do have sharp fangs.
Don't
And-
listen to the DM. They are not cute.
And
Cutie hedgehog.
they kind of stink a little bit. They have a little bit of an odor, so it's obvious there's some glandular stuff going on there where they were giving off a scent. So
Okay.
uh,
So not
Xena,
something at all to shame
That's
on
why I
you.
don't notice it.
there's one more alive. Are you going to dispatch it?
No. So Zeno, feeling like the area is pretty safe and secure, he's going to go up to one of the dispatch ones and examine it, looking for weaknesses, making a mental note of claws and teeth, and that way, if he ever comes across these creatures in the future, might be able to know how to deal with them better.
Okay. You notice that there's quite a bit of slobber. And it's pretty sticky, so that might be something that you would notice. It might be something you could use to detect if you're in the territory maybe in the future where if they've been around, maybe they're going to give off some of this odor, and maybe they're going to leave kind of a sticky mucus trail, a sticky saliva trail of some sort. It's a possibility anyway, based on what you're looking at. I'm assuming you're not dissecting it and all that. You're just kind of poking around and
just getting the basic anatomy of it down.
Yeah, so, 4 legs, a long tail, hair, tuft of hair on the ridge, very sharp teeth, lots of saliva, very thick mucousy saliva, 2 eyes, long snout, small creature, but almost to the medium size, kind of. It's a large, small creature.
Yeah, the dead one that Zeno is looking at, he's going to try to remove the 2 front fangs.
Okay. How are you going to attempt to do that?
I'm going to try to pry it out.
With a dagger? Okay. That's probably... So I guess the question is, are you going to be careful, or are you just kind of going to yank him out?
I'm going to kind of scrape up along the gums, see if I can loosen the teeth, and then wheel it back and forth forcefully, trying to yank it out.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. It's going to take you a few minutes for each one of those. So.
Question: how many have we dispatched?
3 are dead. 1 is still sleeping.
There's still one to be dispatched.
Okay. So Zeno's working on a tooth on one of the ones that I presume the other ones were killed. Then if no one else is going to the sleeping one, I'll pull out my little rapier and go up and try and dispatch it.
Okay. Unless Jake wants to stop you. He was actually ahead of you.
No, that's whatever. However he wants to do. If he gets there first, I don't know what he's doing. I just know I'm like, okay, it's asleep. I know I touched it, and I know it's not dead.
Yeah, okay.
I'll dispatch it quickly for us.
Okay.
And I look at him and go, thank you.
So you're all sort of standing there looking at these bleeding creatures that are dead, and Zeno is prying the 2 long fangs out of the front of one of them. It takes a few minutes, and as you're standing there, you notice that the stench is getting worse. The smell is getting worse.
I will give a small little prayer to the All-Father for saving us through this, and I'm going to walk away and start heading away from the stench. And say,
Yep, I'm going to second that too.
Yeah.
So, Zeno, I appreciate you trying to get it, but it might not be a good idea right now.
As long as I can get, if I can get 1 free, that's good enough for me. I'm going to get out of there also.
Okay. Yeah, you can get 1, no problem. You could get a second one too if you spent about 5-6 more minutes, but everybody's going to leave you there, it seems. So
1's good.
50, 60 feet back, so I can see Zeno, but not be right in the middle of the stench.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's more the point of like getting out of where
It smells so good.
I was very satisfied with the one tooth. Ready to go.
All right.
Okay. As you make your way out of the forest, you get out of the forest, and a few feet, maybe 10 feet outside of the forest, you do see that there is a small pile of, a pile of rocks against the edge of the mountain here, of Goat Hill here. It's not humongous boulders, but there are some largish rocks that are there that probably could take a closer look.
How big is this pile? terms of height of the
Probably 12 feet high.
Oh.
And they're leaning right up against the...
So are there any signs that maybe this was some kind of rock fall, or do they look out of place?
It looks like it was a rock fall a long time ago, not a recent one.
Okay.
I'll back up and try and get a different perspective to see if it would look like any of the formations of the rocks would look like a ram's head at any point.
As you sort of do that, when you get to probably sort of a weird angle, maybe 65, 70 degrees, looking at one of the rocks just from that angle, it looks like the silhouette of a ram's head is almost etched onto the rock.
That looks interesting. Jake, come and look at this from here. See if I'm just, having dwarf crazy eyes.
No, you have dwarf crazy eyes. That's not fun.
It's been known to happen.
I walk over behind Rekmek.
I go,
Yeah.
that's a different session. That's ain't normal.
No, I've never been. This is what it looks like to be behind you? My gosh.
Wonderful.
Right. I'm listening, but I'm gone for a moment.
Yeah, I do the put the fingers up, try to get everything in focus.
Yeah, I try to point to him to say, this is what I'm seeing from this angle.
Yeah, you have to sort of be looking at it just from the right, perfect angle to see.
Right.
Jake, you got to stoop down though. You got to get down to my height.
All right. Hey, hold on.
I'm not like you, with the wind up there, with the clouds. Come on down here, lower. I put a hand on his shoulder, bring him down to my level.
As you're looking at it from that level, and you're looking slightly up now at the rock that he's talking about, because your body's lower, and at that angle, you definitely see that it looks like there's been the silhouette of a ram's head etched onto that rock. When you were standing full height, you didn't see it. It just looked like normal rock with weird crevices and cracks and whatever.
Yeah. I see it and I start pointing out parts of it. And wow. So I don't know. I never saw anything like this. I don't even know if there's any gods that relate to this.
Well, Father relates to all these things. But don't worry. And ram's heads, we found it. Let's go look.
I don't think that's good luck. I could be off.
Because if it's bad luck, it's not luck.
Well, if it's bad luck, what is it then?
It's hedgehog luck.
Is it time for lunch yet? Bert?
It's always time for lunch.
Ready for second breakfast. Don't worry about it.
This is a good place for a picnic.
Throw him an apple. Let's go. I want to move up and check out that ram's head rock feature to see if it looks like there's an entrance or any kind of cave or any kind of structure there.
Like maybe something a dwarf would look for?
But let's not be, racist now.
That was
There's a lot of assumptions being made here.
True, we are pretty good with, opening some rocks and stuff, but
I didn't say that you were mining for gems either.
yes, but those people in that tavern sure seem to think I should be,
They do.
Maybe.
which is always funny to mess with them.
Humans are like that, though.
All the races have their things.
What's my thing then?
I'm used to it. It's no big deal.
What's my thing? Do I have
All
a
the different
thing?
races and cultures.
Is that what you're saying? I have a thing? What's my thing?
Well, you're from a small town, so you have a thing. You're like from a hamlet. You think this Indoleffin's a big town.
It is a big town. It's huge.
No, the capital is.
Four times I was lost in that place.
And from what I hear, on the mainland, this is like the backwater city of nothing. You're like a hamlet.
This is the mainland.
No, that's not what I hear. There's more.
I hate to tell you this is not the mainland.
See? Leonese agrees. And she's from the big places.
I have a map of the mainland.
She's from where I
Our
feel.
mainland.
This is just a little island in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it's not little. But it is an island. It is in the middle of nowhere.
It's a continent. I read about this thing. Okay, so what about these rocks? Who knows about rocks who's maybe a dwarf or not a dwarf?
I bet I'm putting my money on the halfling.
If only we had a gnome.
If only it wasn't a portly halfling, he could climb through.
I got stonecraft. So that
I believe we're at an impasse.
no, I'm just
Defeated by the first pile of rocks.
No, we found a pile of rocks that I thought looked like a ram's head. I had Jake come and take a look, brought him down to my level, and he saw something fairly similar. So,
Guess we should go inspect the rocks.
let's see. Stonework features include new construction, familiar architecture, sliding walls, stonework traps, unsafe stone surfaces, all that fun stuff.
So I'll go up and check the rocks out, see if one is loose, see if any of them are movable, if there's a hole in the ground. I keep an eye out for anything that looks suspicious and trap-like.
I mean to do that. Sorry.
And I'm right there with it because I was trying to check out if there was anything beyond that stonehead thing because it was supposed to be right in that area.
Okay, so there we go. So did you roll a wisdom check or you did not yet?
I have not yet because I didn't.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
I didn't hear it. Is it the +2 or +4?
You're gonna get +2.
Yeah, that's not so good. It's only a 7. I fail.
You notice that it's there's definitely something weird. There's definitely some kind of odd. When you walk up to the ram's head rock, you don't see the ram's head anymore. It doesn't look like it from close up. You only saw it from the weird angle.
Okay.
But it's definitely not an accident. There's definitely something there. It's possibly maybe magical.
What was the rumor again exactly about the ram's head?
That there's a dungeon, hidden dungeon underneath.
Underneath the ram's head, or
Underneath it.
okay, then I want to go to right exactly where that rock was. Keep an eye on it, even though it changes the perspective, and go right to it and search along the ground or see if it's like an illusion or if it's real or not. Seeing as it changes perspective as I suddenly doesn't look like that rock anymore.
Okay.
Or I want to push Jake to
We do not push Jake through rocks.
You should
That's
go
rule
check
number
that.
5. Number 5 on the list.
Special.
Are you actually going to take him and push him through it?
No, I'm not going to. I will go up and check on my. No, I will admit it was funny. I just don't think she's quite at that level yet.
You feel like there's a way to move this rock, and that there's space behind it.
Hey guys, I'm not certain, but I think there's something behind or under around this rock. If you guys could help move it, I'd appreciate it. Well, I come over here and just take a look and watch and just see if I see something.
Yeah, Zeno will go over there and see if he can help tip the rock over.
Yeah, Bert will head over as well.
And Rekmit just kind of backs up and says, there you go, yeah. Ken, right there, guys.
Directs us. It's like, just push there.
So, let me see. I think... Who all's helping?
Leonese.
Zeno is helping.
Bert's also helping.
Okay. And what's your strength scores? Everybody who's helping, what's your strength score?
Now you know why I backed away.
11.
Zeno's got a 13.
Bert's also got an 11.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Working together with Rekmit telling you sort of how to put your leverage and how to shift your weight so that you're putting the best sort of force.
Yeah, Zeno, a little more left. A little more underneath. Push a little more.
You can slide it open a little bit, like there's maybe a 1 foot gap.
So there is actually an opening there then.
There's an opening, and on the other side of it, there's a small alcove, and you can see steps going down in a spiral staircase.
But we're not able to move it further?
Not with the current strength that's being used.
Okay, I would like to approach, and I will put a small little rune on there. And where's my character sheet? I will put a rune of rending upon it.
Okay. And tell the audience what that does.
It tears the target apart. Impacts one item, target up to 1 cubic foot per level of the rune mark. So it'll only be 1 cubic foot. How big is the stone?
It's pretty large. I mean, it covered a halfling size opening.
All right, so I'm going to want to do it near the bottom. Try and break open that, and hopefully then we'll be able to break open or give us a little more space, or maybe be able to push it apart.
Okay.
What else does it do? Any item on which it's described must make a successful strength save, CL, equal to the rune mark's level. Ooh, that's not good. Break splinter. Large items may only break into a few pieces. Fragile items such as glass shatter. Rune may be used against almost any target. It can be used to cracking doors, breaking rock, opening a fissure, that kind of junk.
Zeno's going to go look for a large tree branch. I'm sure there's one around with all the forest, and try to wedge it into the hole that we've already created and use it to like a pry bar against one of the other rocks.
Sadly, you're probably going to have to, because I don't think it's going to work for my rending.
The combination,
my character.
The combination of effort, and by the power of Rekmit's beard, which apparently has magical properties now,
Really does.
You edge the thing open maybe another foot, so that now there's enough room for all of you to sort of scoot inside. If you crouch and scrimp, you can probably get through. It's pretty solid. I mean, it's going to be hard to...
I may have to jump up and down on Jake to force him down in the hole.
Is the hole going?
I will
Is the
make
hole
that.
going straight into the ground?
There's a gap behind the... So you move the rock away, say, to the right a little bit, about 2 feet, and there's a small alcove behind it, which is about halfling high, but you see that there's a spiral staircase down. So if you can crouch...
I'm going to go ahead and light a torch.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, can I search around the base of the area to see if there's some kind of trigger?
Sure.
Something that might have missed?
Sure.
Can I talk the rock into moving?
Come on, man. Just move over a little bit.
I'm doing what I can for you, Rock.
Trying to help you here.
We don't want
I
to.
tell you, so if we want this rock to move, all we have to do is, that Ludo, just everybody kind of get the same tone and be like, oh.
If you get the right pitch, it'll just shatter.
That's what I was trying to do with my rending. It didn't work.
Oh no.
So, Rekmit, you're going to look for a trigger of some sort?
Yeah, I want to see if there's something that we just missed, because there's got to be some way to open this other than beating the heck out of it.
Yeah, go ahead and make me an intelligence check.
I was hoping it was an 18. Shoot. Nope, that's only going to be a 6.
Okay.
I don't like this dice roller.
Yeah, start rolling dice on your own. You do not find a trigger. But with you searching around, it's pretty clear that this is meant to do this, so there probably is a trigger somewhere.
That's what I would have rolled with a roll of that
Nice.
guy. We should have been a 16.
Yeah.
Bert will go ahead and take a look around to see if we can find anything.
Say that again. What's Bert doing? You're going inside the gap?
No, he's taking a look around the base for a trigger,
Okay.
giving it a go.
Now, as a rogue, you have special abilities related to that, correct?
I have such abilities to finding traps. I don't know if this trigger necessarily would count for that, but
counts. I would say that counts.
oh, perfect. So then that would count as a prime skill, even though intelligence isn't a prime skill for me.
That is correct. That's my house rule. Yes.
Cool. So I got a 17, which then I think should pass.
Yes, it does. You find a trigger, but unfortunately, the trigger is sort of it's a kind of indented piece on the rock on the bottom edge, but since all of you sort of manhandled the rock to the side, you set it at an angle that no one can press the actual button. You can't get enough force in there and enough of your hand or anything in there to press the button.
Anyone got a 10-foot pole?
I actually do have a 10-foot pole.
Well, we already got the door open, right? We can all fit in there now.
You can all fit in there, yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah,
cannot.
so I don't know why we're messing around with the trigger still. Let's just go inside.
Yeah, all right, let's just head in then.
What we may want to check for is a trigger on the inside that would close it once you're inside as well, though. At least it could reset. And keep any hedgehogs from entering.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be trapped in by a giant stone, but
On the bright side, you will
Uh,
only
Z-
be trapped in once.
Don't worry. Underground is my thing. We like this. It's not that big a deal. There's always
having a dwarf with us makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Zeno's got a lit torch, and he's going to go inside to the stairs.
Okay. So you have to crouch a little bit because it's halfling size. The opening is halfling size. but you can easily do that and go down the stairs a little bit. The stairs are built in, so it's not as if you can step on the stairs and like it's open and you can see. It's stone, so you'll have to walk all the way down to see what's at the bottom.
I'm going to look for like a fist-sized stone or bigger and roll it down the stairs, just in case there's any kind of a pressure stair or anything.
Okay. You can easily find that because this huge pile of rock is there. You roll that stone down and you hear it hit several stairs and the wall on the way down, and then it lands on the bottom, and you don't hear any traps or any triggers or anything like that.
It looks to be clear. Let's advance. And Xeno will start heading down the stairs.
All right, right behind you, Xeno.
And I'm right behind you. Actually have my bow at the ready.
Okay.
I'm right behind the elf. And who's right behind me?
That's okay. He's blocking anything coming from the back.
So, the spiral staircase ends in a roughly square room. This area is carved out, but it's pretty rough work. It's not the high quality standards you would expect from, say, a dwarven installation. But it is a sort of, it's a built structure. It's not a natural cavern. Okay. This room that you find yourself in is about 30 foot on a side, and it's almost exactly square, and there are 4 doors in it in the middle of each wall. The spiral stairs come down right in the middle of the room.
So there were 4 doors, basically north, south, east, and west, or any other orientation?
So we come down the middle and there's like basically 4 doors, right? An otherwise empty room.
You want to go have people maybe like listen at each of the doors, see if they hear anything?
That's probably a good idea. And what was the rumor again that we were, or what you had heard again that we're researching?
Just that there's a dungeon underneath it.
Okay, I thought there was some kids got trapped or stolen or something.
They stumbled into it one night, but it doesn't say anything happened to them.
Okay. Well, I hope you all like the dark. Well, I do.
I was going to say.
I've got a torch.
So we've got one torch lit.
Yeah, there's a torch.
There's a torch.
Bright light!
All right, Bert will head over to the east door and take a listen at the door, see if he hears anything.
At the east door, okay. I was just going to say the room feels unoccupied for a long time.
Does it look like there were any other footsteps in the ground, any dust, or has it just been...
There are a few footsteps, yes. They look like they look like humans, and they look small.
Like little children sized?
Probably.
Not clawed?
No, not clawed.
Okay. I might be a little paranoid.
Those hedgehogs are pretty vicious, so you know.
I want to go adventuring. I just don't want to go adventuring and die. I don't like being bitten.
So you want to roll me a listen check at the door?
Leonese will actually listen at each of the doors.
Okay.
Which one is the listen check?
+2.
Yeah, listen's going to be a wisdom.
Samuel,
I think.
So wisdom check, right?
Yep.
Well,
do
they're
you want
doing
us to draw the map?
If you want to. I didn't draw a
How big did
square
you
with
say?
4 doors because I just didn't think it was
How big
necessary.
did you say the room was?
It is 30 foot on a side.
Right, so we'll do the north door, so add 3 to this, and it's a secondary.
While
19.
they're doing the listening, Rekmit's going to kind of go around the walls just to see if there's anything odd or anything with respect to stonecraft.
19. Okay.
Seeing as they're probably going to be better at listening, I'll do the whole dwarven looking for strange
Right.
things on the walls.
All right, so we got north. We went north, east, southwest. So the first 2 were 19, 19, 7, 9.
Okay, so you went north, east, southwest.
Yep.
In the north, you hear dripping water. In the east, you don't hear anything. In the south, you don't hear anything. And in the west, you hear a faint scratching noise.
So I'll let everybody know. It's like playing these guys. Okay, there's dripping water over there, and to the west, there's some faint scratching. Don't hear anything east and south.
Well, scratching sounds bad. Let's stay away from that.
Let's
But I
check.
feel like the water has to lead somewhere, right?
Yeah?
So that would
Sounds
be
good. Let's check out the water one.
Yeah,
As a
so
quick
I vote,
question,
vote for water.
as a quick question, how far down did the stairs go into the earth?
about 20 feet.
Okay. And are we in stone, or is it stone and earth, or?
You're in stone. You basically went into the side of Goat Hill and then down.
And it was all stone at that point, and it was carved out.
Right.
Okay.
Everything was stone. The stairs were stone. All the walls around the stairs are stone. Everything that you're in now is stone.
Okay.
And
Thank
it's not what I think you were away, but it's not really high quality craftsmanship like what a dwarf would do, but it's definitely like a man made, or it's a creature made. It's a built structure. It's not.
Been constructed. What are the doors materials made of?
Or say that again.
The door materials, are they made out of wood, banded wood?
All 4 of the doors that were leading out of the first room were made of wood with iron bands.
Okay. They look like the wood's really old and decrepit in any way?
Not rotten, but definitely old.
Okay.
So you're going to the north room? Is that what I'm hearing?
And
Yes.
just to be
Yeah, I
clear,
think
that
so.
the staircase came down into the middle of the room, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So there's kind of a cylinder in the middle of the room that
Yep.
has an opening in it that lets you get into the stairs. Because the
Yep.
stairs were sort of, it was walled. It wasn't just
Yeah.
like open, like modern spiral stairs. You could see through them, basically.
Yeah. These were enclosed, but it came down into the middle of the room. Got it. Okay.
So on the owlbear for the map maker, if you you can draw a line instead of a square if you want to. I'm not sure exactly what. I don't know what you see in terms of controls, so that's the only reason I'm.
Circle, I can do rectangle.
Yeah, the only thing was that my lines aren't going to be straight, so I just went with the blocks.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Put a little blue circle in the middle for where the staircase goes down.
Okay.
Yeah. We just don't have the corridor to the south. It's just a door there instead.
We'll get better at this as we play with it.
Yeah. That's the thing, is the first game is, as what I was saying to Chuck earlier, the first game always has all of the tech issues and all of the getting to know you stuff and the weird kind of, oh, what's this technology thing we're using now?
Yeah.
Who the hell is irritating?
So you heard sound beyond that northern door. Are you going to open it, or are you going to listen at it again, or check for traps, or what's your modus operandi here?
Do we know that Bert? I think it's Bert, the halfling, whatever, is a rogue yet.
Yeah, I'll be pretty open about it. Not gonna be too sneaky, but I gotta do what I gotta do to survive and make my living. But yeah, I'll go ahead and check it for traps.
Okay.
He's a rotund rogue.
I shouldn't say rogue, but he's good at
Yeah, I'm not
sensing
a rogue,
such.
but yeah.
You have
I'm
you
not
have
sure that
certain
you sense dangers really well.
you have certain necessary skills. That's all. Do you want to make me?
Although they're not very good here.
Yeah.
Hey, Linnaeus makes my beard put things to sleep.
That's
Can
true.
Can he detect traps? Can he open doors?
Look, guys, this door definitely has no traps. 100% trust me.
What did you
Well,
roll?
then feel free to open it.
I don't know if I showed it, but I got a 6.
Oh. Yeah, no, you don't detect any traps. So who's opening it?
All right.
Reckmit will walk on up and open the door.
Okay. Reckmit, you see beyond the door there is a 30-foot long hallway, and the dripping is from a puddle of water that's in the middle of the hallway, and there's a drip from the ceiling. There's a single drip that at basically regular intervals drips down and hits that. It's a very slight puddle, so it's not filling up the entire hallway or anything like that, and it's not getting big enough to make a huge puddle, so obviously it's going somewhere, but it just on a regular interval is about once every 2 seconds or so. You just see one tiny drop of water go from the ceiling, which is about 10 feet high.
As I hold the door open, I'll wave my hand and go, "Youth before beauty, gentles."
All right. So Leonese will actually go. So it's basically a corridor going north
Yes.
with this puddle. So
And
Leonese will.
there is another door at the end of it that is wooden with iron bars
Oh, how far ahead?
at the end of the 30-foot hallway.
Oh, it's 30 foot. Sorry. Okay, missed that bit. So Leonese will go. She has a 10-foot pole out. She'll be basically prodding on the floor as she goes, so it'll be a little slow.
Okay. She doesn't detect any anomalies in the floor in the hallway.
Okay, so she'll kind of wander up. She'll definitely prod around the puddle.
And I'll kind of whisper ahead, "Are there any water hedgehogs?"
Show us. They'll be very small. We're okay. We're good. We can stamp on these ones if they were.
There are not.
Okay, so does Lenny's make it to the door?
Yes.
All right. So she will listen at the door.
Okay. You want to roll me a siege check for that listen? That's a wisdom.
Yep. Wisdom. That is that's a 20.
Okay. You hear the sound of more dripping water.
Hey, I sense a theme, man. Guys, come on. It's just a puddle.
Bert will come up behind you and check the store for traps.
You want to roll me that check?
Yeah, I got a 12.
You do not find any traps.
And I will boldly follow Jake.
So is someone going to open the door then?
Yeah, Lenny's will open the door.
Okay. You open the door. This door is a little bit harder to open. It's a little tiny bit swollen shut because of the humidity in the next room, because it is very humid in there. But it's not that it was trapped or anything. It was just a little bit kind of swollen on the inside, though. You can't tell from the outside. The outside is actually fairly dry. But when you finally pop the door open, you see a room that is roughly 20 by 30. So it it basically your door opens into the middle of a 30-foot wall, and it goes out ahead of you 20 feet. So it's a 20 by 30 rectangle. There is a door directly across the room from you, but in between you and the door is a large circular pool that is about 12 feet in diameter. And in the middle of the pool, there is a base in the pool that comes out of the water. And there is a statue of a human woman wearing a long gown and holding a spear in her right hand. As if she's going to throw it, right? Like she's going to chuck the spear.
Yeah, it's pointed towards us or away from us?
It is pointed at you.
Are there any strange scents or smells or any?
The room is so humid that you can see that there's mold growing on some of the walls, and so that really reeks. But other than that, it does not. There's not an odd odor.
Breckman is going to duck down and almost like crawl forward if we move forward.
The figure in the room, is she just a beautiful woman, or is she more divine looking?
She just looks like a human woman. You don't recognize her as a religious figure for any of the deities that you're familiar with. So it's possible she's the figure of a lesser evil deity, but you're pretty confident in your knowledge of the neutral and good gods and how they would be presented.
Okay.
And this doesn't match any of those.
All right, cool. Thank you.
You also are pretty confident in your knowledge of the really major evil ones, and this doesn't match those either, right?
Cool.
Denise will go into the room and head to the right. So she'll go in the right corner. So
Okay.
basically southeast.
And I'll ask Jake, does that make any kind of religious sense to you? Or divine?
That makes a ton of divine sense to me.
Okay, so who is it?
It's not a divine god. That's why it's divine. Right?
Sure. I'm gonna
Wait. This is, yeah.
never upset the cleric.
So, Leonise went into the room, correct, and to the right?
Yep.
How close did you get to the edge of the pool?
No, I didn't. I was skirting the wall.
Okay.
You mean she literally walked through the door, turned right, and kept to the wall?
Okay.
Yeah, because we got, what, about 6 feet? No.
Yeah, you can easily go around it. I'm just curious if anybody's like looking in the pool, just, and
No.
she stayed far enough away that she can't really see anything.
No. She's like seeing across it.
Yeah.
Does the statue do anything when she comes in?
Nope.
All right. So she'll go east. She'll get to the corner. Then she'll go north, skirting the wall.
Okay.
So this is 30, 35. So she can reach the pool with a 10-foot pole, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she will put her 10-foot pole at the edge of the pool and see what happens.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, she's gonna wait and see whatever. She's gonna wait and see whatever it says.
However, since you're near that door, right?
No, she's actually on the east, so
In the
she's like
corner?
right in the middle of the east wall.
Okay.
Bert will follow into the room, and seeing that nothing happened when the 10-foot pole was prodded towards the pool, he'll go like a little closer to the pool and take a look at the statue in the water.
Okay. So are you looking for something specific, or what are you?
Just coming to the edge of the pool and peering at the statue and trying to see if, first of all, is there any mold growing on the statue?
No.
But no, nothing specific. Just kind of looking around.
You want to roll me? Give me an intelligence check.
Ooh, that's a nat 1.
um, as you're lucky there are no crit fumbles in this game, because you might accidentally be going for a swim.
You can play those.
So you just think it's like obviously somebody made a shrine to some woman, and like maybe it was somebody's wife or somebody they worshipped, or it's nothing, no big deal. But as you're looking at it, your eyes kind of glance down to the pool, and you see that the pool is about 3 feet deep. That's what it seems like. And the bottom of the pool is covered in gems and coins.
Hey guys, there's gems and coins. Come look, come look.
Yeah, it's like
What is what's the statue made out of? It's just stone.
It looks like it's made of the same stone that is used to make the walls of this place.
Does it look
Zeno's
like
gonna go. Zeno's
Sorry.
gonna go check the statue and see if it looks like the spear might come loose.
Okay, you want to roll me a wisdom siege check?
As he's doing that, I want to ask: does it look like it was carved in place? Does the spear look like it's made out of part of the carving, or a separate material?
The spear is pretty obviously part of the hand, so it wasn't like placed in the hand. But the statue itself was placed on the pedestal. It was not just carved out of the ground.
It's not like the Vedic temples where they carved all that stuff out of the. Okay.
Right.
And does the spear look like it's also carved of stone, or does it look like it's of a different material?
This whole entire statue is the same material.
Okay. Thank you.
So what was Zeno's roll?
It's a 15 total with a primary.
Okay. You definitely notice that there is a seam in the statue where the arm that's holding the spear is attached at the shoulder. And so it looks like that spear could move. The whole arm, actually, could move.
I'm going to try to take the arm off.
With how?
With my hands. I'm going to just see if I can get it loose.
So it's
if
in
there's
the middle. It's in the middle of the pool, so you'd have to go into the pool. Or
and how far is it? How far is it in the pool? How far is it in the pool from the edge?
The pool is about a 12-foot diameter, and it's directly in the center of it, so it's probably 6.5 feet.
Hey, if you're going in that pool,
I believe the statue's arm can move.
Say that again.
Perhaps I can throw the halfling or gnome onto the statue.
No. The halfling doesn't like water, and he's only 3 feet tall.
And there's no gnomes. There's no gnome throwing allowed.
Oh.
That is not an Olympic sport.
So,
does it look like the statue swivels on its base, like the statue can rotate?
It doesn't look like it from where you are.
All right.
So, just eyeballing it, basic wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the statue and I look at the dripping passageway that we walked down to get to this room, trying to make any correlation between, dripping water, the spear, just, you know what I mean, Samuel? Like seeing, does anything line up specifically?
Like geometrically
speaking? Curiosity. What?
You mean like geometrically speaking?
Yeah.
It doesn't really look like it. What it looks like is there's a water source in the mountain that is leading to the drip in the hallway, and that was
Okay.
probably also being used to fill the pool by whoever built this structure, and maybe they weren't so careful when they built it and they created leaks elsewhere. But in terms of the geometry, it doesn't look like there's an obvious, you know, like if you move the spear, in other
Right.
words, it points directly at that and creates a flood or something. That doesn't look like that, no.
Okay.
Who had the 10-foot pole?
Leonese had it.
So, Leonis, perhaps you should try to move the gems or the coins on the floor and see if the spear will fire at the pole.
Okay. So Leonese will kind of
Well,
move up a little bit.
I'm just going to crawl in and crouch and go to the left.
Okay, so Leonese, she's on the east wall.
Mm-hmm.
She'll move in, I don't know, 3-4 feet.
Okay.
So she's close to the pool.
Mm-hmm.
So you say it's 3 foot deep? Oh, yes, that's about right. And then use the 10-foot pole, see what happens when she actually goes into the water and starts moving the gems. So she's kind of raking the bottom of the pool with the pole.
So how much pressure are you putting on? Like, are you trying to like really move these things, or you're just kind of tapping them to see if they move, like to make sure they're not fake?
I'm putting enough pressure to see if they actually move.
Okay. Are you trying to also touch the bottom of the pool, or you're just moving the stuff on top?
I'm really just trying to see if these gems and coins are real.
Yeah, they scatter when you swing the end of the pole back and forth. A little goblet goes, a gem goes, some coins.
Okay, so they're physical. They're real.
And the statue doesn't do anything?
Nope.
Oh, if only we had a net.
So Zeno's going to dip his finger into the pool just to make sure it's not acid.
It is not acid.
I'm going to slowly step 1 foot into the pool to see if I can reach the bottom before I put all of the rest of my weight on there.
Zeno is a human, right? He's pretty tall.
Correct.
Yes, you can touch the bottom of the pool. The water's pretty cold, but you can touch the bottom of the pool with your foot, sure.
I'm going to walk over to the statue to see if I can remove the arm.
Okay, so I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
It is going to be a 9 total. Is that plus the level also?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, savings are plus level 2, so it's level plus.
Oh, is it?
plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have it actually right here, but yeah. So
That's a 10 total.
Okay. As you walk towards the statue, you're sort of touching the bottom with your feet because you're walking, and you feel the gems and the coins and everything move away as you move your foot so you can get good footing. And you step at one point and you feel the piece you stepped on kind of shift under your foot a little bit, and the statue swivels so that it's facing you, and the spear jabs down and does 2 points of damage to you. And then it retracts. And I'm assuming you stop moving at that point.
Yeah, I'm going to, as soon as I get stabbed by the spear, I'm going to stop. How close am I to the statue at this point?
Probably 3 feet.
Am I close enough to reach the end of the spear and try to pull it out of her arm?
How tall are you?
5'10".
What's
And
your
the spear is stuck in you.
so you could probably take a couple of steps forward and jump out of the water to try to get the spear, but you don't know if that would cause the spear to attack you again.
Is there any steps that I can take forward that would not push the gems? Do I see a clear path without trying to disturb them?
Not really. There's there's stuff all over the floor of the pool.
All right, I'll jump for it.
What if we like threw something at like the other side of the pool, and then when she turns to stab that, you step forward?
I was just going to say that actually now that Leonise sees this, she'll take the pole and be pushing it in the pool. So now you have, essentially two things happening in the pool.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So as you stab into the pool, you're on the eastern side?
I'm on the eastern side, yeah.
Okay. You stab into the pool, and the statue swivels towards you. You hit the ground, and you feel the floor of where you hit shift a little bit. And the statue swivels in facing your direction and stabs down. And if you had been a person standing where you have the 10-foot pole, you would have been stabbed by the spear. So
And so as soon as the statue rotates, I'm gonna move to get to the arm.
okay. So you're gonna climb on it, or you're gonna jump out on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna climb onto it and try to remove the spear.
Okay.
And I will continue jabbing at that point, just so you know. It's like,
okay,
this is how this thing works.
You can easily grab onto that spear. I'm going to need a strength check for you to break the arm off, though. It's pretty solidly built, this statue.
It's going to be a 19 total.
Okay. You have a hard time breaking the arm all the way off, but you are able to end up breaking the spear, so the shaft with the point is no longer operational, and you bend the arm in a way that kind of cracks it, but you're having a hard time pulling the whole thing off. But you did basically disable it, but the statue will still swivel if Leonise is still pressing on pressure plates in there. The statue will still swivel towards wherever the pressure plate was attached. But
I'm satisfied with that, so I'm gonna step out of the pool and bandage the stab on my thigh.
Okay. As you walk out of the pool, you hit a couple more pressure plates, and the statue swivels towards you, and the arm tries to, jab you, but of course the spear is no longer sharp and long enough to reach you. So it does
Seems like we have some golden gems for sale. Just for the take.
Reckmit's going to crawl up to the edge, reach in and see if he can grab some of those out and see if they're actually gems and gold or not.
So how tall is Reckmit?
He's 5'6".
Okay.
He does have relatively short arms versus torso ratio, so you may have to dip in a little.
Yeah, so you're probably going to have to put your face in the water in order to get all
I will do that.
Okay. Yeah, you can grab several coins and a gem or two as you do
Okay, I'll pull them up. Do they actually look like gems and coins and not just some bullcrap illusion?
No, they are gems and coins. I mean, they're not super high quality gems, but they're gems and coins.
So Samuel, once you bandage, and it says you heal 1 to 2 points.
Yes.
How is that determined?
Just roll a 1d2.
Got it.
And Reckmit slides into the pool.
You're just going around just throwing stuff out, right? You're just like...
Yeah, exactly.
We'll collect it all up. So we'll collect whatever he throws out.
Yeah, I'll swap around everything up and put it out on the dry surface for us.
Jake will be holding on to his belt, as friends do for each other, to, at times, like, push him in deeper to get more of the gem, or, pull him back to,
It's like, oh no, he's been down there for 30 seconds. I should pull him back.
Yes.
And the bubbles stop coming up, you pull them back up.
So I guess the question is, it doesn't take you very long to gather all of this. If you all work together, you could probably pull all the stuff out of there in 20 minutes.
I'm
Yeah,
good
we're
with
taking
20.
we're taking
I'm good.
everything.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Okay.
We'll take the 20 minutes while the guy who got stabbed, kind of heals up.
All right. Hey, look, Lord Gosumba just raided us with 57 people or something. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Hello. Thank you. So
What's going on, Jay? Thanks for coming.
yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. You just missed them getting stabbed, but then getting a big pile of golden coins. Actually, it's silver coins and gems.
He got stabbed. I acquired the coins.
That's true. That's true.
The dwarf got wet.
So
The dwarf got moist.
the question is, do you want to stop and count the loot, or you're just going to bag it up and take it with you?
Bag it up and take it.
Bag it up and take it.
Yeah, we just bag and go, right?
Okay. And
Well, I would hand it to the monk who got stabbed. He can count it while they're all gathering up as I'm pulling out of the pool.
so how many of you got wet?
Just
Zeno did.
just the two, right? My pole did.
Elves and their poles.
I would assume that I got splashed a little bit from.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I definitely probably got some water on me.
Okay.
So basically, Rekmit's the one who jumped in the pool to gather up the loot. Basically, I threw it out on the edge wherever I found it. They gathered it up and took it over to the monk to count it.
Okay. All
Okay.
told, you gathered about 150 gold worth of silver. It's a silver coin, right? So, I mean, it's hard to say the value of the gems because probably none of you could evaluate those very well, except maybe Rekmit, but he's busy swimming and putting things out. But there's a nice big handful or two of gems. So you can estimate at least a couple hundred gold worth of gems there. So that's a pretty good haul for a couple people getting wet and one person getting stabbed.
Yeah, not too bad.
All right, time to go.
We have a door to the north. Well, do we want to see the doors to that go back?
So what are you?
Yeah. Did anybody check the door to the north for traps?
I can go do a roll on that. Ooh, that was pretty good. 18.
Plus,
If Bart doesn't find any traps, Rexmith boldly walks up and opens the door.
You do not detect any traps. But there is an odd smell coming from the other side of the door.
What kind of smell?
Does it smell like the same creatures we saw in the forest?
No, it's not quite that musky and putrid. It smells like rotting vegetables or rotting fungus.
does the door open inwards, or do we push it open?
The door opens inward, yes.
All right. Rexmith opens the door, pushes it inwards, and says, "Feel free, gentles. I have shown you the way."
I'm sensing a pattern here.
I'm right up there to help him out.
Okay, so the room is once again a stone room. It is a rectangle that opens into an oval on the western side. So when you open the door, the room extends out 30 feet in front of you. And to the right, there's only 10 feet of room. But to the left, after 20 feet or so, the room opens out into a bigger oval kind of shape. Okay, so if you imagine a rectangle with an oval to the left of it, that's kind of what this room looks like. Once again, like the rest of the of this place, it is a built structure. It is a constructed area. It was carved out of stone, but it's roughly hewn. It's not smooth. It's all the same stone that it's been before, but it's a weird shape.
How far does that extend? Is it 5, 10, or 15 feet out?
It is 30 feet out in front of you, 10 feet to the left, and 20 feet to the right, and then it extends out in a big oval. Or sorry, 10 feet to the right, 20 feet to the left, and then it extends in an oval to the left.
Like what he's got up there is the purple little thing that goes 7.5 feet. Close enough.
Yeah, I can't make the circle any bigger, otherwise it'll be bigger than the room.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Hey, close enough. It's great.
There is also a... Yeah, remember, this is just for your knowledge, right? We're not really doing like anything tactical, so it's not as if you're going to use that as a battle map or anything like that.
Right.
There's also a door, by the way, on the eastern wall. And as you are sort of peering into this room, now I'm assuming you haven't entered the room yet, you're just kind of standing at the door. But as you open the door, that rotting vegetable smell hits you in the face even more. It looks
Do we see any rotting vegetables inside?
Well, it
Sorry.
looks like someone brought in soil into this room and planted a garden.
And didn't succeed.
And well, didn't succeed, but I mean, this is old, and there's still organic matter here. It's not completely putrid as if it rotted away eons ago. It's freshly rotting fruit.
Yeah, and the fruit would give you that kind of earthy tone with, especially if there's a mushroomy smell, you can grow a mushroom type mycated material within it. Putrid would imply some kind of meat type source that's rotting. So, yeah, so we got more of a rotting vegetable matter, which could be utilized as a base for, like, if there's a mushroomy smell. I mean, I don't know anything that mushroom that can harm us, but it's something to be aware of.
Yeah. Hey, but, could be good for the cabbages.
Or for the special mushrooms.
Those very special mushrooms. That's true. Okay.
Do you want to work our way over to the door on the east side then?
Yeah, I think so. Me and Ease will kind of go in, walk along the wall to the right, go up to the door and listen.
Okay. If you happen to look over into the area where the room sort of spreads out in an oval, you see that in the middle of that oval is a big stake with a scarecrow hanging on it.
There's a scarecrow. How big is the scarecrow? You said a big scarecrow?
I mean, well, the stake it's hanging on is above the sort of plants that are in the bottom. And so the scarecrow is sort of elevated above that. So it's in the air attached to a big stake, a wooden stake in the ground. The scarecrow is sort of regular size. It's the size of a human.
Okay. But it's right across from the door.
As we walk in or work in, I was like, do we want to go check that out or do we want to avoid it?
Well, if we avoid it and go into the other room and it comes up behind us, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
This just seems like if it's off the ground, I'm wondering what's in the ground.
Well, and it's pointing right at the door, I'm assuming. Right? It's facing the door.
It is facing the door, yes.
So trigger the trap that we expect is there and be ready for it.
I'm just wondering exactly. I'm thinking.
So I've got the shaft of the stone spear that I grabbed from the from the statue. I'm going to throw that at the scarecrow, hoping to stick it right in the chest just to see if anything happens to it.
Okay, roll me an attack roll.
That's going to be a 14 total, I believe. Oh, well, that would be range, so 13 total.
The spear flies true, but the scarecrow is kind of made of this. It's like this. It's almost like a burlap sack, right? That makes half of its body. The spear goes through the burlap sack that has the stuffing in it, and it's sort of in the side. Like if it was a human, it would be like their torso, and it would have gone like it would have sort of skirted the edge of their torso, but it goes through and it kind of rips the burlap sack a little bit, and there's a little bit of hay kind of wheat stuff sticking out, but the spear then goes beyond that, falls to the ground.
Excellent. All right. So it doesn't appear to be alive.
It did not have any reaction.
Is there vegetable matter underneath the scarecrow, essentially?
Yeah,
rotting
there's
matter?
Rows of the crops all in that oval-shaped area.
Is it like crops, rotting matter piled up?
It's like crops that were planted that are kind of rotting on the soil.
Okay. What do they look like? They look mushroomy shaped, or they look like some kind of leafy plant shape?
Most of them look like something that grows in the ground, but has like a carrot that has the sort of stems and leaves coming out, or potatoes that grow all the way in the ground, but then have or chives that come out. But most of it is all wilted over, and some of it is like lettuce type things that are kind of wilted over.
But there was no reaction from the ground when the spear point or piece fell into it?
Nope.
Okay. I would like to work my way over towards the crops and investigate them.
Okay. Most of them look dead. Some of them look like they're just barely dying.
So these were planted relatively recently, like this season.
If within 30 to 60 days, based on what I'm guessing these type of crops are, but given that they're growing underground, don't necessarily know as much. I mean, yes, I'm a dwarf. We didn't grow stuff underground. Except for special mushrooms.
Alright, so we have... Alright. Nini's will go to the door and we'll listen.
And Reckmit will pull out his rapier and try to probe/pull up one of the ones that are not fully dead yet. Like they look like they're still okay. Try and get a better feel of what it is. What kind of crop this is.
So you're going to pull one out?
I'm going to essentially use the rapier to kind of probe underneath it. If it's like a carrot, take out a longer angle to try and pop it up. See if it'll pop out of the dirt or whatever, just to get a feel for what the root plant is for like the carroty type, or whatever structure one that doesn't look like it's as dead.
Yeah, so when you do that, you wedge out like a parsnip. Big white parsnip. Really healthy.
But it doesn't look different from a regular parsnip, considering it's growing underground?
No, but it does have there's like a little string attached to the middle of it, it looks like.
Where does the string go to?
It looks like it goes into the ground.
That's intriguing.
Does anyone have a shovel? Something we try and pull this way for. I don't have one because I couldn't afford to carry it.
I mean, you could just reach your hand down.
I could.
Helpful tips from the CK. I don't know what you want from me.
Rick,
Hey,
pull this out.
Do it. Touch it.
I go through my backpack and I pull out a small shovel.
Okay.
And if he like basically pull the crap towards us, I'll be ready to cut that little string.
Okay.
Does anything strange?
You're going to use your shovel to pull it forward?
Yeah.
Okay. You pull it forward, and the parsnip comes towards you, and dragging along behind it is the string, and the string is attached to a small leather bag. Like the size of a belt pouch. Little.
It's a trap. Bury it.
Kill it. Chop it. Have it.
I've got a rapier to pull the belt pouch towards us.
Okay. You do.
Are you in the front, and am I behind you at this point?
I think we're side by side-ish.
Okay.
Ready to jump behind you.
Oh, got it.
You know that maneuver.
Yes.
Duck and cover. You jump back.
Tactical retreat.
Samuel, I'm going to be keeping a list of all of our maneuvers.
I'm redistributing my force. Guard his rear.
Wait. Sorry. Who's talking?
We're just going to mark down our maneuvers. This is the duck and cover. Tomorrow we're going to do the, what is it? The snap and
Snap into it.
yeah. That's
So now you're looking at a big parsnip, like a really nice, healthy parsnip, but the stems and leaves coming out of it are dead, but it's attached to a small bag, small sack, small belt pouch kind of sack.
I will open the pouch, see what's inside.
You pick it up to look at it, or are you just trying to open it like with your dagger or something?
I will try to open it with my rapier or dirk, whatever works better.
The leather of the bag is very old, so as you try to poke and see inside of it, it kind of almost falls apart. But there's a gem there, a little ruby.
Jake, I found a ruby for you. And I take the parsnip.
I wonder if the whole garden is planted with little pouches underneath.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's quite a few that look not quite dead, right?
All right. Do we
I would only
start searching for it?
because I may have gotten lucky.
All right, seeing what's happened, Bert will go start trying to dig up one that looks not quite dead.
Okay. What are you digging it up with? And where are you? Are you near Rekmit and Jake, or are you in the rectangular part of the room, or?
I guess I'll be nearish them. That's kind of where it seems there's quite a few that are not quite dead, right?
Okay.
And I guess
Go ahead.
I don't have anything really to dig it up with, so I guess I'm just using my hands and just kind of like pulling at it and digging at the dirt.
Okay. You pull out a big turnip. Big, nice, healthy one. The top, once again, is kind of dead and dying over, and it has a string attached to it. And there's a little bag attached to the string.
I'll go ahead and open the bag.
Leonise and Zeno, give me a wisdom siege check, please.
14. Wait, that's not a. Yeah, it is a 14.
Zeno also got a 14.
Which is 1, but that's a 15 on a secondary.
So it's not.
Zeno got a 14 on primary.
Say that again.
Zeno got a 14 on primary.
Okay. You notice that as Bert pulls out the bag, the scarecrow kind of almost turns its head to where it's looking towards where they are. Bert, in that bag, there is a nice malachite gemstone.
The scarecrow is moving.
Hearing
Zeno
that,
shouts out.
yeah, hearing that, will not touch the Malachite gemstone. We'll just kind of drop it and start backing away.
Okay.
Keeping an eye on the scarecrow here, see if it does anything.
Zeno is going to rush forward with his torch and try to ignite the scarecrow.
Nice.
Okay.
Leonese will take a bow out and be ready.
And Reckman's going to grab that Malachite gemstone.
Nice. Good job, Reckman.
So Zeno, make me an attack roll, and then we have to roll initiative.
Going to be is this going to be a melee attack?
Yeah, because you're
I
running
would
forward to light it on fire, so you're...
And it's going to be a 19 total.
Okay, that's going to hit. Roll me...
I'm going to try to stab the torch right in the part where the spear already ripped it and the hay is coming out.
Roll me 3d6 damage.
Is going to be 3, 4, 5 total.
Okay. 5 altogether.
One of the dice knocked over one of the other dice. It was a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been 5 altogether. But if you want to count the dice knocking the other dice over, it's 4 altogether.
I'll take the 5. And now everybody roll initiative. I rolled a 10.
Ooh, that's bad news. I rolled a 7.
Try this on the dartboard again.
I just rolled a die because I didn't necessarily like that owlbear thing.
Okay, I like the die better. I got a 10.
Okay.
Zeno has an 8.
I can go last too. I don't care.
Jake has a 6.
Jake has a 6. What did Reckmit? Oh, Reckmit got a 10. Zeno got an 8. Jake got a 6.
Bert got a 2.
Bert got a lousy 2. And who am I missing? Leonese.
Leonese got a, what did I say, a 6.
Okay.
Oh, it's gone. That's because I deleted it.
Okay. Between Reckmit and the Scarecrow, I think Reckmit probably has a better dexterity. So I'm going to say Reckmit gets to go before the Scarecrow. Right now, the Scarecrow is on fire, but it is within melee range of Zeno, and it's angry. So.
Well, what's its dexterity?
Had upset.
Truly, what's its dexterity? Because I actually may lose.
It's 10.
He wins.
Okay.
What you'll all notice in time is I'm kind of a bumbling, fumbling dwarf. I have a 9. This will be fun.
So the Scarecrow pulls its arms off of the stake where it was up, and it tries to jump onto Zeno. And maybe I'll use owlbear for this. And it's going to try to pummel and punch Zeno. And the first roll is a 17 to hit. And the second roll is a 3. So one of those might hit you. What is your AC?
12.
Okay, so the first one is going to hit you, and that is going to do, darn it, come back here. That's going to do 6 damage. Ouch.
I have a question.
Yes.
See, if everything goes in the same 10-second time frame,
Yes.
would I be able to put a rune on him to absorb that damage during this 10 seconds, or is it just going to go kind of as order Dexter or initiative order works?
I would say you're doing it at the same time.
Right?
So what's the rune do?
It's going to be like a rune of shielding that'll allow him to absorb 1d10 plus 1 for that round.
Okay. I'll allow that to happen before he takes the damage. Roll the 1d10.
Well, it's just one of those, I know because I'm like next in the round, but I would see him getting hurt, so I would try to put the shielding on him, and I know if it's all simultaneous, it makes it kind of weird, but I also think, yeah, it's kind of a cool way to do it.
Yeah, no, it's happening. That's why I specifically put that in the character generator, guidelines or my house rules. That it's to me it's simultaneous. So basically, Xeno ran up and stabbed this thing with the torch, and it pulled its arms down and went to attack Xeno, and you're running over there to intervene.
So basically, since I'm next, what I'll do is it's 10 plus 1.
Right.
I'll put the rune of shielding upon Xeno,
Okay.
and then it should absorb that 6 points of damage for him.
Okay.
It's only this round because at first level, it's only 1 round of shielding.
Okay. The other thing that happens is Xeno loses a point of constitution temporarily. And he's being hugged by a creature that is on fire. So if he doesn't get the creature off of him, he will take fire damage.
He'll take fire damage too.
Yeah, so he's in deep doo-doo, but that was the Scarecrow's turn, and that was Rekmit's turn, and now it actually is Xeno's turn again, because the torch was basically the surprise round.
So Xeno is going to try to break free of this fiery bear hug, as much as he likes a warm cuddle. But he is going to try to strike the creature in the chest with his monk palm attack.
Okay.
And push it backwards.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and push it. I'm going to try to push attack at a -2. Oh, it teetered on the nat 20, but that's going to be an 8 total.
That is not enough to push it away. Anything else you'd like to attempt?
I mean, I want to get out of its grasp, but I don't know if I can't move, right?
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can move. You can do a half move on a turn that you make an attack. The problem is if you move away, he's going to attack you.
So if he's holding on to me and I half move, can I carry him with me?
Sure, but he's still going to attack you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to half move down to the room to the south with the fountain.
Okay. That's okay. You get about halfway there. Let me roll an attack roll for him.
So he gets to attack not on his turn just because I'm moving with him?
Yeah, but don't worry, he missed. I rolled a 7, so
okay.
Yeah, because he's trying to avoid being moved, but so basically that was him trying to push you away, which counts as an attack. So, all right, so he failed at that, and that makes it Lenice's turn. Lenice's turn.
Lenice will. She's just going to run and charge and see if she can knock this thing off.
Okay.
And definitely not. Natural 1.
Oh yeah, nope, that's not going to work.
Just flying across the room.
Right.
Waxing the wall.
Jake.
Jake's going to try to take the bastard sword and sever into it.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an attack roll.
No, that'll be a mess for sure.
That's a no, I take it.
Correct.
Bert.
Bert's going to do one of his rogue things. He's going to try to get behind it and make a move silently roll so he can do his back attack.
Okay. Go ahead. I mean, make the move silently roll first.
Yeah, that's a 19 plus 1 plus, yeah, so that's a 21.
Okay. Yeah, he does not notice you. He's too busy trying to get Xeno to let him go. Go ahead and make your attack.
Yep, so we make it a +4 to hit, and we do double damage.
Right.
So that's a 14, goes to an 18.
That hits.
And we do a d6 plus 1. So if it's double damage, I'm just doubling the dice roll, correct? And then adding my +1? Okay, so it'll be 11 points of damage
Okay.
with the club.
Okay. You do the damage, but it is still holding on to Xeno, and it is its turn. It is going to attempt to punch Xeno to make him drop him.
I thought he wanted to hug me. Now he wants to let go.
Yeah, right.
He's a very
Like,
conflicted
Make up
scarecrow.
your mind, man. Come on.
That's a 15. Does that hit?
It does.
Okay, and then you're going to take, ouch, 6 points of damage, and one more constitution point loss. Temporary, unless you die.
Okay.
If you get down to 0, you die.
Got it.
And that's his turn. Rekmit.
Well, hell. Guess I could do shielding at him again. That'll be my third for the day. Yeah, actually, I will do that. I will, on his other shoulder, draw a rune of shielding again upon him to absorb those 6 hit points.
Okay. So roll a d10 plus 1.
No, it's just 10 points plus 1.
It's 10
so
plus 1.
it'll-
Okay. So, all right. So
I thought it was a d10, but I was wrong.
Okay, got it. So, Xeno, you don't take that 6 damage, but you do take the con point still. And now it's Xeno's turn. You can probably...
So he broke free.
He did not break free. He did damage, but he didn't actually break. He's still standing there. You could grab onto him and try to drag him to the pool if you wanted to.
Well, I mean, I was only going to do that to try to put out the flames that were burning my beard. But if he let go of me, I'm just going to strike him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the attack roll.
So I'm going to try to punch his scarecrow head off. It's going to be a 12 total.
That is a miss. Leonise.
So this thing is now free. She's going to go and try to whack it with her staff.
Okay.
That is a 9, which is a miss.
That is a miss. Jake. There's a flaming scarecrow standing there.
Well, we will destroy this flaming scarecrow. Flee. AC 16.
That hits. How much damage?
The 1d10 plus 2. Uh, 7 points of damage.
Okay. As Jake slices into the scarecrow, it kind of, you see some tufts of straw come out, and the head kind of lolls off and falls over, and the body falls in half, and now it just looks like some flaming
Straw.
dried hay, straw, and some, little barley and wheat in there. And it's just sort of low-level flames on the ground now. It is now gone. So we are out of
So
combat.
after it completely burns up, I'm going to stamp out any embers and then go through the ashes. Is there anything in the ashes of the scarecrow?
Nope.
Well, I mean, I think we can dig up all the gems now if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Might as
Don't
well.
forget turnips, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are good-looking turnips.
So you spend... You're going to only pull turnips?
Well, turnips in the bags. Oh, you had other plants there, 2 cabbages.
Yeah, there's other kinds of plants.
Yeah,
No, I think we're going to check them all out to see if there's other stuff, different things under the other plants. Even the ones that look like they're already withered away.
Okay. So in total, including the ruby that you found and the malachite, you find 3 other plants that have little sacks with gems. And they were all clustered right in that area. Right where you first pulled out the first gem, the first living parsnip plant. The third gem, so you got a ruby and a malachite. The third one is a blue jade. The fourth one is an emerald. And the fifth one is a white pearl.
So basically, there were five different gems
5 different
in
gems.
total under all the plants.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And with that, it's about time for us to finish up. So you are ending down in the dungeon. And I want to do a quick 15 or 20 minute debrief for us, because that's part of the shtick of this episode. We've only really been playing for 3.5 hours because we had technical difficulties in the beginning. We didn't start till a little bit later. So normally we'd be done by now, right? But because we sort of shifted our starting. So I'm sorry about that. We'll try to not let that happen too much in the future. So here's the thing. What do you think? The thing I sort of chuckled at internally is, I don't know which of you said it, but it was something like, gee, for such a small town, there's a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you think? Do you think this is a little environment that you could actually tool around in for a while?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if each one of the rumors that we got pans out to be something, yeah, then there's a whole lot to do.
Oh yeah, because we've headed east. I've got stuff to the northwest, plus a bunch of other random stuff. So, and we haven't even So there's a lot we could do here.
Yeah.
And it would grow, right?
Yeah. So I love old rumor tables, but I'm not big on false rumors. What I'm big on is twisted rumors, right? They're not false, but there's something wrong with the rumor. Is more probably mundane than what's actually going on, and possibly skewed or embellished one way or the other, so it might sound more dangerous than it is, or it might sound less dangerous than it is.
Right.
So generally you can probably count on those rumors being true things. That doesn't mean that you have to investigate them all, or that I'm expecting that you investigate them all, but they are things that are there for you to look into if you were interested.
Basically, they're all based in some sort or some kind of reality.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But there could be twists to all of that.
Right. Exactly.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah, this is not puzzle solving, trying to work out which rumors are right and which ones are wrong. It's like there's a basis of fact to all of them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which means they're all valid to go and look after.
Mm-hmm. Right. And they all have some connection to the overarching thing that is going on here. Now, whether you all end up investigating that or just kind of ignoring it, and it's not necessary for this campaign that you follow a specific storyline. It's there if you end up following it, or if you end up interacting with it, or you tangentially touch pieces of it. It's there. There's some stuff going on in the world, and that stuff is going to be going on regardless of your choices, right? And so you'll be able to affect the way certain things turn out, and sometimes you'll choose to not investigate something, and so you won't affect how that turns out. So
so that was what I was trying to work out from the rumors. Like, so the question I have is, with the rumors true, they will clearly had part in the world, but were they random and who you gave them to? Because I was trying to work out if there's any linkage in my rumors.
So what I did was I just made a rumor table, and then I put numbers on it, and there aren't that many rumors, right? So there's there's not 100 rumors, and then you all rolled so that you all got different numbers. So there's groups like some of them had a span of if you rolled between 31 and 38, you'd get that rumor, and so if one of you rolled a 32 and one of you rolled a 36, you're getting the same rumor. But it was random based on your roll, and then for every person I gave you an extra third one that was either because I wanted. The way I did it was I wanted at least 2 people to have each rumor. So but remember, there's a player missing, right? So there were 6 of you, right? And so
true.
all of you got one of the same rumors as one of the other 6, and all of you also got 2 rumors that the other 6 did not get necessarily, depending on the random rolls, right? Okay. So I kind of tweaked it, but I didn't. Like, your random roll was just your random roll, so you got whatever you rolled.
Got it.
And I will state this as an out of context. None of the rumors that have been shared so far are ones that I had.
Yeah, so
it should be interesting.
I've only shared one rumor.
I think we had 3 out there so far.
Yeah.
We had, is it only 2? It might have only been 2 because there was the half hill and then the tunnel. So there might have only been 2. I thought there was a third one, but
I think there was a third one. I think you're right.
There was a wizard, right, who was resurrecting corpses or something?
that was the one.
Yep.
Digging
I
up graves, yeah.
Yeah,
I had the wizard who was resurrecting corpses.
And then we had Leonese, whether it was a rumor or not, mentioning something about, I don't remember if it was in group, about looking for somebody, an old acquaintance or relative or something.
Oh, yeah, that was the reason why I was on the ship.
Yeah.
That was purely the reason why I was on the ship.
But you didn't mention it to us in our company, did you?
Sorry?
Did you mention that while you were in our company, or was it outside?
I did. Yeah, I did. It was like why I was here. It's like, yeah, I was traveling to the mainland to find a relative, but it wasn't.
I just wanted to make sure whether or not we knew you had actually said that's what you were looking towards.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a deep mystery, but my rumor. But I did mention that I had the rumor about the wizard who'd been digging up corpses and was banishing onto the northwest because somebody else had a rumor that was linked to that.
Right. I think mine may have been related to that about the barrow mounds. So
That was
it
it,
could not be.
And who had the glow? Was that the glowing? So then, who had the glowing rumor?
That was the half hill rumor.
I had that one. The greenish sky over Half Hill.
Yeah. So but that is in the same direction, right? If I remember correctly, that's like northwest. Okay.
Yeah, half hill is northwest. Didn't know about the wizard. Someone mentioned the oak woods, but that would have been southwest. I think the reason we went with the Goat Hill one because it was still really close to town.
So there's one other thing I want to talk about before we end up leaving, and that is something I mentioned at the beginning of the first combat that you had in the forest, and that was actually maybe I didn't. Maybe I mentioned it in the room with the pool. I don't remember, but I mentioned something about how there's side initiative, right? So when I'm talking about side initiative, what I mean is each side in combat just rolls 1 initiative die, and then everyone on that side goes, so basically whichever team wins, then that team gets to go first, and everybody on that team gets to go, and so they all get to take all their actions. And then, or you can roll, individual initiative. The benefit individual initiative has is that it's a little easier to start adjudicating actions. I don't accidentally forget somebody. I don't forget who's taken a turn and all that stuff. It's easier to keep track of who's had what in what round. The benefit of side initiative, in my mind anyway, and this is why I'm bringing this up because I want to know what your opinion is. The benefit of side initiative would have to me, along with you being able to sort of strategize what you're doing and plan who's going when. It also makes it so that combat feels more simultaneous, and we ran into this with Rekmit's casting, right, where he sort of absorbed that damage that was done to Xeno, and I allow that because it is the game is meant to be that combat round is all simultaneous, so all this is happening together. And so that makes sense to me in my brain. For some people, they don't like that or whatever. But for me, I like that. And so the question is, do you think it would be easier to sort of emulate that kind of feeling with side initiative, or should we keep doing individual initiative?
I'd like to try the side initiative because, in most of the games now, you just have the individual. So I'd like to play it with the side just so I can feel the difference in play.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done both. When I run my game, I do individual initiative. and so it's simultaneous if you get the same score, and then it is literally simultaneous. So
Okay.
if you come to get killed, you still go strike.
Okay.
But yeah, both work. It's like there's no good or bad. But
I won't deny that it worked out in my favor the way we did it tonight, where I could just block the damage.
Right. Because if we had done side initiative and you had chosen to go before Zeno, then that
Right.
wouldn't have been
At the higher
possible.
roll.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's an interesting, even though with individual initiatives, it made it kind of an interesting. It still was sort of side, but it was allowing me to react in a way outside of all the other initiatives where it was just really you're in order.
Right.
And what happens. If you die, there was no simultaneous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this was the first time, even with simultaneous, even though it was individual initiatives, the simultaneous made it kind of an interesting strategical way to apply my skills as a rune mark to actually be much more useful than I'd actually thought it would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until I got higher level.
Right. Right.
But-
Okay. Well, maybe we'll try side initiative next week, and
Cool.
see how that works, and then we can revisit that again and make a decision. To me, for bookkeeping purposes, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, it's just a shift in, okay, I have to do it this way now versus doing it that way. But I'm all for that. If this is simultaneously, we deal with it as if it really is simultaneous. So, and you saw that in action tonight.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, if you are going to run side, then it is truly simultaneous. So everybody gets to act,
Mm-hmm.
and the results. So you can do what you want. And yes, you're right. It's like, okay, you go first or you go second, but you can start to think about who actually acts in turn. So you have to make sure, so no results are done until the end of the turn.
Right.
But if
If
you do individual, you do also have the option of holding your action. So holding is like, I'm going to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
So, but both work.
With my character,
Hey, Samuel.
I would hold my action because I'm really much better at helping you guys out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like.
But I'll work the way we do it. I'm not dead yet, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, both work, and it really doesn't matter. So I would actually say, whichever easier for you to run is the way you do it.
Well, let's see it in action and see. We'll make a decision after next session. Who was hollering at me?
Hey, Samuel. As far as the temp stat loss, how does that get healed? You have to rest.
Yeah, if you rest and you have a good night's rest, that'll come back to you, right? It's very temporary.
The one point at a time, or it all comes back.
It'll all come back at once. Yeah. Now that's just for that creature. There are other creatures that have that it takes longer. In this case, it's once. It's one good night's sleep. There's one last thing I want to mention before we go, and that is that Troll Lord Games is having a stream tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern, which is, what is that, 4 Central? And it's a tips of the trade, right? Tips and tricks of GMing, and the topic is alignment. So yeah, DM tricks of the trade. So tune in for that if you're a fan of that. It's Stephen Chenault, the president, CEO, and all around CK of CNC. And so usually what he has to say sparks good conversation if we don't go off on a tangent and talk about movies and television shows, and books, and history.
Or Dr. Pepper, right? It's like...
And then one last thing before we go. I'm trying to put a lot of the aired flavor in here. And so I know I could talk for hours, by the way. So eventually somebody's gonna have to say, no more one last things. But I'm trying to put a lot of aired flavor in here. So you're going to see that start coming out a lot more as we go. So I hope that comes through. And if there's ever a point where you feel like this isn't coming through, let me know and I'll amp it up. So, there is a reason this campaign is named Pools of Narrheit. So, and other than that, I don't really have anything. Does anybody else have anything that they want to make sure they say before we sign off?
I would just say, yeah, that's cool. That's kind of what I was trying to ask a little about the racial ideology with respect to Erich versus the player's handbook.
Yeah.
just to get a feel for where we're going to go with that and how we're going to play that out. Because I'm actually pretty cool with it. I think it's neat to kind of do that with this setting because it's a little different towards fantasy with the way Stephen did his and Davis did his settings.
Yeah. So there is some of that racial tension that will come out, and you kind of see they look at the right. There's these stereotypes that everybody in town has about, right, like, okay, you're a dwarf, you're supposed to be mining, like, what are you doing here bringing us cabbage? This doesn't make sense. Even though we love your beard and you're a nice guy, right?
Yeah.
But
I've been here 150 years.
Yeah.
So-
It comes out, and it's like, oh, the elves should be in the woods. Why are they doing? What are
Yeah.
they doing coming in the ship? It's like,
Well, I tried to help you on the racial stereotyping. But everyone sees me as the really weird dwarf.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And we're going to be here same time, same place next week. Maybe we'll start a little bit earlier though, because hopefully we won't have technological difficulties. And otherwise, I think we'll say bye. And
thanks a lot, Sam. Appreciate it.
thank you all.
Thanks,
for
everyone.
watching.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Let me
Thank you for shielding me.
See you all in a week.